personality, and I'm sure they have a familiarity with each other, with both of them coming from Alabama. And then I say Will Friend as my number 3 because that goes back to the cohesiveness, a familiar voice for Jarrett Garantano for the offense. And then with that, though, my asterisk with Will Friend is that bring in an elite recruiter to at O-line, or move Chris Winkie, the quarterback's coach, bring in an elite recruiter to coach the running backs, something of that nature. So if you do move Will Friend to offensive coordinator to keep the continuity, then bring in an elite recruiter to replace him, whether it be along the offensive line or at running backs.
Before you go, Charlie,
Yep.
Let me mention something about Will Friend, because I had some people reach out to me on Twitter and was like, Will Friend is Larry Scott 2.0. I'm not responding to stuff like that. Larry Scott never, ever coordinated at the college level before becoming the offensive coordinator at Tennessee. The last time that Larry Scott was offensive coordinator was in high school. High school. Will Friend has coordinated experience and was very successful. Very successful. He could have been the offensive coordinator last year if he really wanted to. But it's hard to be the offensive coordinator and offensive line coach, and I don't blame him for just sticking to the offensive line. That's my only knock on Will Friend moving over is, man, I hope we got some really good quality control dudes or GAs, because this offensive line needs a ton of work. And will that take away from Will's Friend's attention fixing offensive line if he takes on offensive coordinator duty? So that's my little take on Will Friend. He ain't Larry Scott, folks.
No.
Just let you know that right now.
And I mentioned,
so please stop with that.
And I mentioned bring in an elite recruiter if you move Will Friend to offensive coordinator. Yeah. Bring in another offensive line coach to get this offensive line fixed, because then you have 4 guys that can help out with the offensive line. Will Friend, the new offensive line coach. We've seen Jeremy Pruitt work with the offensive line. But
who's on coach quarterbacks?
Chris Winkie.
But
and then you got it's weird. It's a weird dynamic.
I would say with that, though, you had on Butch's staff, you ended up having a situation similar to that. I guess would you have 3 guys on the offensive line where it was
you had Walt Wells,
DeBoer, Larry Scott, and Walt Wells, and it was kind of too many cooks in the kitchen. And
Larry Scott, no, it was
Larry Scott did tight ends, but he was around, and so you would be opening yourself up to that problem. I'm not saying it would happen, but
the dynamic was you had Nick Sheridan coaching quarterbacks, who was a quality control guy, who is a quarterback coach now in Indiana. You had DeBoer, who worked with the offensive line alongside Don Mahoney one year, and then Walt Wells another year. And so you were able to kind of shift your focus to the offensive line, Mike DeBoer, because you had Nick Sheridan. So if you do bring in whoever, are you able to shift your focus a little bit from offensive line if you're Will Friend? I don't know, man, because you still need a quarterback coach.
Yeah, I guess you can't bring in another offensive line coach if you move Will Friend OC, because he would still have to be responsible for the O-line, because then you probably move Chris Winkie to quarterbacks coach.
Yeah, you got to look at defense, too. You can only have, 9 on-the-field coaches now?
I thought it was 10.
10, they changed the rule 10. But you look at defense, they got 2 guys for secondary. And they got Shera, you got Rump, you got Rocker. You got a lot of dudes on defense. And so you got to make the numbers make sense. Charlie, give us your 3 offense coordinator choices.
I said Dan Enos first. He's a quarterback guy, and Tennessee needs that in the worst way.
Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union has helped people save money for almost 80 years. Whether it's free checking, financing a vehicle, or purchasing that new home, Alcoa 10 is here to help you. Better rates, better service. Check them out at atfcu.com.
Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
Member NCUA.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to ofonox.com. That's ofonox.com.
Deep down the middle's got his man, and he's gone. Jason Swain, touchdown.
It's time for the Swain Event.
Guess what time it is? My time. You can check your iPhone. Better say it's our time.
With your host, Jason Swain.
My man.
Real sports talk for the real sports fan.
All you chumps are going to bow when I whoop him.
It's time for the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End BBQ.
Give me 2 pounds and a Ric Flair.
What's up? Wednesday is the best day of the week. Wednesday, not Friday, not Monday, not Tuesday, not Thursday, but today is the day. Best day of the week. Living our best life here. December the 5th, 2018. Man. I've been thinking about December 5th for a couple hours now. Couldn't wait to December 5th. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. 865-200-5503, B-Drive Waterproofing Hotline. Swain Events fueled by Dead End BBQ, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. 850 AM, 100.9 FM. Rocky Top Sports is where you can find us there on the radio dial. The Swain Event app is free for Android and Apple devices. Just download that thing. Click on that icon. Push play. Voila. You get us 7 to 10. Also, you can go and listen to our podcast on demand. A lot of things you can do there on the app. You can interact during the show. Use the text box to ask questions, troll, or comment. Whatever you want to do, you can do that there on the text box. Again, our telephone number is 865-200-5503. Ben McKee, Charlie Burris. Good morning, individuals.
Good morning.
Individual Ben, individual Charlie. What is up?
Good morning.
Not a whole lot. I'm still cold. Not a big winter guy.
Everything is up.
But feeling good. Well, okay.
Hold on. Are you going to make fun of him for him looking like a marshmallow as I was looking like a marshmallow last week? He's not as puffy as I was.
I like that jacket. That jacket's kind of fly.
I like that jacket, too.
I bought it because it's slim on purpose.
But he still looks like a marshmallow.
Yeah, he got too many layers on up in here, man. We are indoors.
I don't know. I hate the cold.
Do I need to go get the heater and put it right next to you too, Charlie?
Maybe.
Sweat you out?
But
we're doing the show inside.
What's really going to sweat me out is this stinking OC search. In this, for the sake of this fan base, the infighting right now and the distress of folks is killing everyone.
You mean the people acting like children right now?
Oh.
Listen, let's be honest here.
Go right ahead.
Like, let's stop with the theatrics. Let's stop with the whole with the pretending. We're not in a huge hurry. The only person that Tennessee is going after that maybe, because we have agents who like to play these games, who maybe other schools want, is Hugh Freeze. Honestly, most of the best play callers in the country, man, they're head coaches. They're head coaches. All the play callers that you love, they are head coaches. The Lane Kiffins of the world, you look over there, Oklahoma, head coach. You look at Cliff Kingsbury, who was at Texas Tech. He's off the board. He's at USC. He wasn't coming here no way. He was going to go to the NFL, USC, LA. Great fit for him. But most of the really, really, really good play callers, the Mike Bobos, man, they're head coaches.
Matt Canada isn't.
He's available.
He is. I've been saying his name for about a week now.
Now, he is available.
He deserves at least a phone call.
You wonder what happened at LSU. LSU wanted to run pretty much what Jeremy Pruitt wants to run.
That's fair.
Same thing. Same philosophy. Running the football, tough defense. Matt Canada implements a ton of motions, a ton of shifts. Mm-hmm. It's a lot.
Now, I will say those motions, a lot of them are decoys to help the quarterback kind of read what the defense is.
I know what it's for, but I understand that as a player in that offense, you got to know. We used to have all type of motions, and I remember when it was jet 2, you had to line up opposite of where you're going to go. And so you got to know all these things. It's another thing to learn inside of a playbook. So, yeah, all these things that you're doing, the players have to learn that. You're going to play true freshmen this year in offense, and they're going to have a new offense. So Matt Canada throws a lot at these guys, a lot. And sometimes your mind can tie up your feet. So if you're Jeremy Pruitt, absolutely make the phone call. Have a conversation. But, again, don't just assume Matt Canada just because he's a big name, that it's just a great fit because it wasn't at LSU. Was that Matt Canada? Was it Orgeron? LSU looked pretty good on offense this year versus last year with Matt Canada. So, do I want an offense coordinator? Yeah, I do. I do want an offense coordinator because it feels like a circus. It really does. I understand folks' impatience because of the lack of success with our Tennessee football program over the last few years. I understand that. But when you get down to the grand scheme of things, when you say, can we still not find an offense coordinator in a week or 2 weeks? Yeah, we can. But we would rather this be done so we can just have that peace of mind. Because if it wasn't for Coach Fulmer, no one would trust any part of this coaching search at all. Coach Fulmer gives folks a little bit of faith. A little bit. Others have more. But because we've messed this up so many times in the past, I understand why folks are on the edge. But really, when you think about it, Mike Loxley goes to Alabama. Okay, things are shaking out a little bit. Because Matt Canada wasn't available yesterday, or a day before yesterday, excuse me. He wasn't available Monday.
Loxley went to Maryland.
What's that, Alabama?
Alabama, yeah.
Yeah. Matt Canada was not available on Monday, but Locke's going to Maryland, man, it opened things up. So this is fluid. Things change by the minute right now in college football. So I do want a coaching hire, but does it have to be today? I would love it for it to be today. Actually, I would love for it to be about 7:30, so that gives Chris Lowe no time to digest it, come on our show and talk about it. Man, that would be an awesome segment, awesome show right there. But it's not life or death right now. And we know that. Do we not know that? Is it really life or death right now? It's really not.
It feels like it in some sense, but when you pull away, look at the forest instead of the tree in front of your nose, no, it is not life or death. And maybe, just maybe, the waiting will pay off in some sense. Obviously, this entire thing is not over with,
yet whether people want to think it is or not, there's so many moving pieces still shifting around. And, let's just, at the end of this, when the hire is made, maybe complain then. And we'll see where we're at.
Don't complain then and wait a year or two and see how it plays out. And then
that would be even more logical.
If it doesn't end up well, then complain.
I mean, either way, I don't like the university giving off this sense that they might be screwing things up because it's just so old at this point. That sucks. But at the end of the day, if a good hire is made, a good hire is made, and everybody's going to be happy. So just – it all comes down to, like Ben's saying, it all comes down to winning those football games no matter who it is.
A legitimate criticism right now is if you needed to vet Hugh Freeze more after Saturday, why didn't you do that more before you hired him and got serious? That is legitimate. Everything else, hey, I understand if, here it is, a big if, so this is where you got to listen. You have to listen, and if you are on another, if you're doing another show, another radio station, or you're doing a podcast, or you're writing an article, and you want to aggregate some words I'm getting ready to say, how about you aggregate and recite exactly what I'm saying here? Don't paraphrase. Don't put it in your own words and mess it up. Listen to me here. I'm saying it slow. If administration and if donors or board trustee members, if they are stepping in and digging in and they're a little nervous about Hugh Freeze's past, rightfully so. The allegations in an article in 2017, as a father of a daughter, it gives me cause to pause a little bit. If they are stepping in, like, that's good. With Tennessee's Title IX history, you need to make sure. You need to dig in. But I will say this. Why didn't you do this a week or two ago? That's my only criticism about how we've handled things. That's my only criticism. Everything else, I understand. Hey, you want to y'all in on Hugh Freeze? Pruitt likes him. Whoa, let's totally make sure. Let's 100% make sure. That's cool. Why didn't you do that due diligence, the extra investigating? Why didn't you do that a week or two ago so we don't look like we do right now where everyone is ready to go, but it's being held off a little bit because you want to do your investigating now rather than 2 weeks ago? That's my only criticism. 865-200-5503, B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline. Let's go to the phones. Chris in Georgia. Chris, good morning.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Pretty good. As it's looking more and more by the day that Freeze is maybe not off the board, but he's likely not going to end up here. Can we really complain about a guy like? The more and more you look into a guy like Eli Drinkwitz's background, I mean, he works under defensive head coach now, so you know a lot of the offense is likely his. He did well at Boise State. He's doing well with quarterbacks at NC State right now, and that's really what we need overall as a quarterbacks coach. And I don't feel like I don't know if Jeremy Pruitt will continue to just kind of have a offense by committee like he did last year. I don't know if that was because it was Tyson Helton or if that's what Jeremy Pruitt wants to do. But, I mean, is it so bad? Most of our biggest hires, especially offensive coordinator, hasn't really panned out for us. And then you go and get a guy like Mike DeBoard or even promoting Dave Cutcliffe back in the day wasn't a big eye-opening hire, and those are some of our best offenses we ever put out there.
Yeah, yep. And you throw in Chaney. I mean, Chaney's offense. I remember when he got hired, and folks was like, "Who? What? Wait?" And then it was that one little tidbit of information that, oh, he coached Drew Brees, and then people were like, "Oh, okay, well, I mean, he did coach Drew Brees. All right, well, let's see." I haven't really seen one offense coordinator that fans have loved and liked and, didn't bash and want to fire during the game. So your point about Drinkwitz, I think if Pruitt really wanted him, I think he would have been hired already, just like with Chip Lindsey. You take Chip Lindsey, they have a history. He knows Chip Lindsey. He didn't hire him. And if he didn't hire Chip Lindsey, I just don't feel confident that he really, really wants Drinkwitz. I think if he did, he would have already been hired.
Well, I mean, my whole situation though with it is kind of like being at a bar. You got that 10, and you're like, oh, I want that. And I just fear that maybe Pruitt and Fulmer they're fighting so hard to get Hugh Freeze that maybe that 7 walks out the door and you don't get to take her home that night. And I'm not saying that's what happened with Chip Lindsey, but I don't want that to happen with other good candidates, and we end up in a Derek Dooley situation where we got left at the bar late at night, and we're sitting here and we're picking from the scraps at the end of the day.
Oh man, Chris, are you dating somebody? Are you married?
No.
You about to get yourself in trouble, sir. Well, if that's the case, then if you're a Tennessee fan, you should be upset because you're Tennessee. You shouldn't have to settle for a 7 or settle for a 6, something like that. You go and you get the guy you want, and you should be able to get him. Now, sometimes he may be in a better situation. Like, let's use Dan Enos for an example. Okay, you want Dan Enos. You're Tennessee. But my goodness, Dan Enos is in a really good situation right now. He's the quarterback coach. He's coaching Tua. His team has all types of talent around him, which will make him a better-looking coach. So if you're Dan Enos, okay, you don't leave. You're Tennessee. You want Dan Enos. He's a 10 because, of how his players have looked. All right, you might have to settle for a 9 now because he's not leaving Alabama. I get that, but you can't go out and hire a dude that no one else wants and expect the fan base to not be critical. Now, Chris, I tell you, it don't matter until the first game of the season. It doesn't matter till the season next year when we start seeing the results on the football field offensively. And even then, with the offensive line being young and still trying to get pieces around on offense, it may not look ideal either. But I looked at Drinkwitz. I watched some of his offenses. It's about Pruitt, too. Like, Pruitt is just as important working with the offensive coordinator and trusting the offensive coordinator as the offensive coordinator being good himself. Like, Pruitt has to learn a lesson from Will Muschamp during his time in Florida. Pruitt got to hire somebody that he can trust. And I won't say hands off, don't mess with him, leave him alone. No, he's a head coach. His job is to coach everyone and make sure the game plan from offense, defense, special teams is on point. But he has to be able to hire someone he can trust. If it takes him a week or two to get to that point, then cool. I don't think we need Pruitt with the offensive play sheet. We don't need to see that in 2019. We just don't need to see that. 865, good phone call, by the way, Chris. 865-255-03, B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline. We'll take our first break of the day. Don't go anywhere. Be right back.
Just because you can't listen to the Swain Event live, you can catch up on the podcast posted daily on the app, online, and on iTunes.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End BBQ has a new slew of daily specials for the fall. Enjoy a different special meal every day, like the Smokehouse Stew, barbecue cheddar meatloaf, or the smoked turkey and dressing, which includes sliced smoked turkey and cornbread dressing paired with sautéed Brussels sprouts, mashed potatoes, and a side of turkey gravy. While Dead End offers a different specialty meal each day, you can get their hillbilly chili every day. There is always something new at Dead End BBQ. Located off of Sutherland Avenue, Dead End BBQ. The fall flavor search is over.
Do you want a custom-themed tumbler or bottle to show off your team spirit every day of the week? Well, look no further than Game Time Sidekicks. Every design has you, the fan, in mind. Their tumblers and bottles are double-walled, vacuum-insulated stainless steel, and their quality is second to none in the market. From stainless steel sippy cups to tumblers and sports bottles, Game Time Sidekicks offers something for the fan of all ages to rep their team with. They have many different logo options, so fans will have something they are proud to carry around all the time. Use promo code SWAIN at checkout to get 20% off of your entire purchase at GameTimeSidekicks.com. They also offer $5 flat rate shipping. Be sure to check out the Game Time Workshop on the website and customize your tumbler to make it one of a kind with things like your nickname, number, or initials. Game Time Sidekicks. Show your colors and carry your team.
You're driving home, flashing blue lights in your rearview mirror. You pull over, step out of your car, and the next thing you know, you're being arrested for driving under the influence. Now what do? We all should be responsible. But remember, just because you're arrested doesn't mean you're guilty. Call criminal defense and DUI attorney Marcos Garza at 865-540-8300. The investigative teams at the Garza Law Firm know the justice system inside and out. They utilize cutting-edge technologies and investigative methods to prepare your specific case. Before you plead guilty to any criminal charges, call criminal defense and DUI attorney Marcos Garza. Put his number in your phone right now, 865-540-8300, because you never know when you or a friend will need it. Don't say guilty. Say Garza. 865-540-8300. 865-540-8300 and GarzaLaw.com.
You're listening to the Swain Event.
And you know this, man.
All right, we're going to the phones this morning, hour one here in the Swain Event, 8:50 a.m., 100.9 FM, Rocky Top Sports. Let's go to Knoxville Mike. Knoxville Mike, good morning, sir.
Good morning, guys. You doing okay?
Great, man. How are you, man?
I'm good. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound okay.
Hold on, man. Go ahead and check.
Oh, I spoke too soon.
Is that worse?
Yeah. Make sure you're not on Bluetooth or the windows are not down.
Okay. All right. You got me now?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. I was one of the ones on Twitter, as I'm sure you could see. I was pretty upset at what I think is not just maybe meddling, but maybe I thought maybe it had something to do with trying to sabotage something. But anyway, because of last year. Anyway, let me get past that. What I do want to say is this right here. The Drinkwitz guy is a no for me, and let me show my work right quick. Okay, we brought in one of the only guys on our staff last year, and we all shook our head because he had and not just because he was a new OC, he had absolutely no experience in the SEC. This is different football here. So for me, the Drinkwitz guy is a complete out for me. I do understand by listening and doing a little research yesterday. I do understand why they may have, why they may be questioning a little bit more Freeze. I do want him here, but at the same time, I got $4 too. So
yeah.
But I guess what I'm trying to say is this right here. I don't. The one guy on our, well, there's two now gone, but the one guy on our staff that were Pruitt hired last year, the first one to go was the offensive coordinator, and you can almost add two and two together. I mean, he didn't have any. This is not Pac-12 football. This is not Big Ten football. They play defense here. You can't. I mean, you have to be able to call offenses. And you have to kind of have a little bit of experience knowing how fast SEC defenses are. So Drinkwitz is out for me. And, I mean, I'll hang up and listen, guys. I mean, if they get you, whatever, I mean, I'll be happy. But I also understand, why they're taking their time. But the one thing that does make me mad is that any other university probably isn't going to drag their feet. And I'm going to hang up and listen, man. I appreciate it. Also, my last thing, have you decided whether you're going to do early signing day thing? I'll hang up and listen. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike. No, we're not. We're going to keep it the same and be at Dead End BBQ on National Signing Day, which is the first Wednesday in February. Let me continue to go to the phones here. I understand why folks are not excited about Drinkwitz. I will say that last time I've checked, they've only had a phone interview, Tennessee, with Drinkwitz. It has not gotten serious enough to sit down. The two serious candidates, this has been this way for days, was Chip Lindsey and Hugh Freeze. Chip Lindsey is now at Kansas, and here we go with Hugh Freeze. Hugh Freeze's name has been mentioned with Liberty being a head coach. That's a little weird, but hey, he's being mentioned. They'll have to do their own digging and due diligence too. Florida State, and then now that Mike Locksley is going to Maryland, you look at Hugh Freeze being a possibility at Alabama. I want to see what these other schools are going to do. Are they going to just pull the trigger on Hugh Freeze or not? If they are not, then they should tell you a little bit about their own administration and their board of trustees or boosters. They maybe feel the same way that ours do. I don't know. Let's go back to the phones, and let's see here. I think I had it right here.
Got Josh in Little Rock.
Josh in Little Rock. Thank you, Ben. Saving the day. Josh, good morning.
Morning, guys. How are you guys?
Great, man. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Good.
So I wanted to talk about a couple of things, and it's hard to give a fresh take on this because you had so many good calls about it yesterday. But our board of trustees or administrators or donors, whatever you want to call them, they need to get rid of this vendetta that they have against coaches picking the OC. I understand Philip Fulmer, he got himself in a little hot water and ultimately got himself fired with a bad OC hire, but that was 10 years ago.
Well, let me stop you. There's a vendetta.
That might have been a strong word, but you'll catch my point here in a second.
Okay. My bad. Go ahead.
They've tried their concoction. They've tried controlling who's hired and how we hire them, and they've controlled the boat for the last 10 years. And it's been extremely inconsistent and, for lack of a better term, just pretty unsuccessful. And I think when I say vendetta, again, it might be a bit strong, but with them trying to control this whole process and not allowing Coach Pruitt and administrative, AD Philip Fulmer, not letting them hire who they want to hire. You had a call yesterday, word it perfectly. You're limiting the success Coach Pruitt can have. If you hired Pruitt for his system and you're hiring him for his stubbornness, let him be stubborn, let him go get the dude he wants to get, and let him play his football. They've done it for 10 years.
I do understand what you're saying, but when you have a allegations that were made, again, this was a year ago, and Hugh Freeze folks came out and they denied it. When you have allegations that point to students at a high school when Hugh Freeze was there, saying that they were not handled the right way, Hugh Freeze didn't handle things the right way. As a university, you have to dig into that. Like, you have to. Yes, Pruitt's job is to say, yes, that is the best football guy I need. The university's job is to make sure that he checks out. That person checks out, checks all the boxes. So that way you don't find yourself in a situation like we were in with Donnie Tyndall, because that's what happened. Okay, the AD said, I want to hire Donnie Tyndall. No one questioned the AD. No one questioned Dave Hart. And then when we got Donnie Tyndall, all these skeletons started to fall out the closet, and then we had to fire him. That's what you don't want if you're Tennessee hiring Hugh Freeze. But the administration and the boosters, they don't get the benefit of the doubt, Josh, and this is where you're right. They don't get the benefit of the doubt sometimes because of what happened in the past.
Well, and I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead, man.
But, man, I think 8 days, I don't think we're that dysfunctional as a program. I think we've done the due diligence. I think 8 days is plenty of time to look into that stuff. And, you look around the country, all these guys making hires 2 or 3 days. Now, some of those might not pan out, I understand. But, man, it's been 8 days. We've done that research.
It's been
and
longer.
I applaud. And, yeah. and I applaud Exactly, and I applaud Fulmer and Pruitt for sticking by who they want to hire if that is the case. But my other question, because I don't want to waste anybody's time on here, we kind of go in a circle with that conversation. The other thing is, it might be Freeze, it might be somebody else, but I think it's proven that when Pruitt's able to focus on what he wants to focus on, he succeeds. You know, he's a DB guy, and even though we had 2 freshmen as our premier DBs, that was the strength of our defense. I'd like him to be able to only focus on defense and not have a offensive play sheet in his hand. Who, in y'all's opinion, is going to give him the ability to focus on defense and not have to micromanage on offense?
I don't know that answer because I can throw out names. Well, I can throw out names. I can throw out guys that I think would be able to allow Pruitt to do that. I like Dan Enos from the start. I thought he was best fit. I said that day one. I think it's going to be really hard to get him to leave Alabama. If I'm Jeremy Pruitt, I give Chaney a call. How y'all feeling? How you feeling, Chaney? How you feeling that your head coach made a boneheaded decision and cost you the SEC championship game? How you feeling? Now I do understand that Sam Pittman comes along with Jim Chaney because they've worked together at 3 different stops. And you got Will Friend, and Will Friend doesn't have the resume of a Sam Pittman, but Will Friend's a good offensive line coach. I've heard it from too many guys who coach in this profession. When I asked them about Will Friend, they said Will Friend's a good football coach. I've watched Will Friend coach. He's not a bad football coach. He just doesn't have really good players and players who are even big enough and strong enough to play offensive line in the SEC the entire season. But why not? Why not call up Jim Chaney, see how he's feeling? See how him and his relationship with Kirby Smart's going. If he wants a change of scenery. You know Knoxville. You lived here. You love Knoxville. I would give him a call and just kind of see. Why not? At the very least, Chaney to get a raise if Curry still wants him. Let's take a break. And we'll come back with Turkey Man. We'll come back with Billy. A really good phone call, Josh. Really, really good phone call, man. Good conversation. I understand exactly how you feel there. Knoxville Mike, Chris in Georgia, thanks for the phone call. We will go back to the B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline after these messages, so don't go anywhere.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
We have all made the mistake of dropping or breaking our smartphones. See? But did you know that you can have it repaired for a fraction of the cost that it takes to replace it? Well, you can, because iDrop is the area's leading mobile repair store, home of the 1 hour or less phone repair, 1 year parts warranty, and #1 customer service. Broken screens, cracked cameras, charging ports, batteries, you break it, we'll fix it. If you didn't break your phone, protect it with one of our leading accessories such as LifeProof, OtterBox, UAG, Incipico, Caseology, and Spec. Visit our West Hills location at 7115 Kingston Pike between Office Depot and Hardee's, or call 865-888-9740 and speak with our trained technicians to see how we can get your phone working today.
Your car insurance.
Nobody likes surprises, so switch to Erie Rate Lock. Get a great rate that stays that way even after an accident, ticket, or inflation. In fact, it's locked until you change a car, driver, or your address.
Your Erie agent in Knoxville is InsureFit RM. Get a quote at 865-684-4900. That's 865-684-4900.
Erie Rate Lock does not guarantee continued insurance coverage and is not available in all states.
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
Beatty Chevrolet is celebrating 85 years of low prices. And during Truck Month, choose from over 400 trucks and SUVs, all deeply discounted. Like a new Silverado, now 25% off. A new Equinox, now 20% off. And a certified pre-owned 15 Equinox or Terrain, now $16,995. Plus, buy with confidence with the Beatty warranty for life.
Big selection and even bigger savings. That's why it's better at Beatty Chevrolet.
Stock number 232, savings off MSRP, include all dealer savings and manufacturer incentives with approved credit. List finance through GMF. Offer expires 8/31/18.
When you're out running around shopping for all your holiday gatherings, don't forget to grab the Mrs. Grissom's. Mrs. Grissom's salads and cheese spreads are perfect when you need a delicious, easy meal and ready-to-eat containers the whole crowd will enjoy, like the Select Old-Fashioned Pimento Cheese or Cranberry Pecan Chicken Salad or the classic Mrs. Grissom's Ham Salad. Select the best. Select Mrs. Grissom's. Find recipe ideas and coupons at mrsgrissoms.com.
If you aren't following the Swain Event on Twitter, then are you even on Twitter? Hit that follow button. It's the right thing to do.
All right, let's get to the phones here, 865-255-03. And we talked to Turkey Man. Turkey Man, good morning.
Good morning, individuals.
Good morning, good morning.
Hey, kind of cool this morning.
Kind of cool, man, kind of cool.
Hey, I was going to ask you, how long you think that's been in the season? What part of the season, or at what time, do you think it went through our coach's mind that, I'm going to have to make a change at offensive coordinator?
Mid-season.
That's what I think. And when people talks about just a few days, I guess that's what got me kind of upset to start with, is I knew it wasn't just a few days ago, and I knew this was kind of going through his mind. And apparently that this decision, the coach that's we're discussing is his one he wants, or we wouldn't be at this point. I think we'd be moving on. That's kind of what I'm seeing. And I'm thinking about this, and we during the coaching search, we had our favorite, and he never did get a look at it, and that was T. We'd like to have seen T as an interview, and then a lot of us thought about Kiffin as at that time, and I know that our coach and Kiffin has a relationship. We would be at the same point if his man was Kiffin, and we'd be at the same point right now with the powers to be saying, no, you can't do this. I personally feel. And apparently there is a little bit of some kind of going on because T didn't get a interview back when we wanted him to have an interview because there must have been some kind of problem with powers to be. That's what it appeared to be, if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I do, Turkey Man. T, the last go around, I think before they hired Tyson Helton, I think T was contacted. T was in a better spot then than he is now. I think T now without a job, I still think he has really good options. T a couple of years ago actually could have went to Alabama and decided not to because he didn't want to recruit and coach against his school, Tennessee. But I don't know if T's in a position, especially if Justin Gaddis goes with Mike Locksley, either Butch Jones will be the wide receiver coach or maybe T. Martin will have another opportunity. I think T will get a look as a head coach at some places. I think maybe, I don't know the dynamic between him and Coach Former because, again, he didn't get that interview last year. and I understand not hiring him as a head coach. I totally get it. I totally understand why Fulmer didn't go that direction. But right now, I don't know if T. Martin will be the best fit or not. Not saying he's not. I really am saying I don't know. Like, I don't know yes or no. I don't know.
The biggest reason I would want T. Martin is because of his recruiting ability. And I don't know that Tennessee is in the position for that to be the main reason you hire somebody offensive coordinator. I think that is important, but I think somebody that can develop quarterbacks, somebody that has been successful calling plays, I think that is more important than the recruiting ability at this stage. I'm not saying that T. Martin can't call plays or can't develop a quarterback. I just think that recruiting is definitely his area that he thrives in better than everything else. Not to say that he doesn't do anything else well.
He develops wide receivers well.
Yes,
but he has not coached quarterbacks.
And I think that is important in this hire.
But my goodness, he shouldn't have a problem in that area, in my opinion. What's Chris Winkie going to do? Chris Winkie has a relationship with Mike Locksley. Does he go to Maryland? Does he go and maybe be the offense coordinator? I don't know. There's a lot of dominoes that can fall, especially with Mike Locksley going to Maryland. A lot of things can change, and it may affect Tennessee. So maybe Pruitt is kind of waiting to see what shakes out of the tree before he makes a decision, or before he gets a number 2 or number 3 or number 4 option. We're just not hearing about anyone else besides Hugh Freeze and Chip Lindsey. Now, they did talk to Drinkwitz, but we have not heard anything about that. Now, we will talk to Chris Lowe here in about 30 minutes, 8:15. We'll have an extended conversation with him and get the latest from him. Chris Lowe has been all over it. Let's go back to the phones, and I don't know why I'm having a problem this morning. Here we go. Billy's there. Billy, good morning.
Hey, Jason, what's happening?
Everything's happening, Billy. How are you, man? Hope you're well.
I understand. I'm doing good.
Good.
Hey, give me a second. Let me see if I can make a little sense out of some of this.
Okay.
I coordinated defense for several years.
Okay.
I used the same system taught by Coach Chavis and Coach Brooks. Used the same 4-3 cover 2 system that they did. The first 3 years, we were decent. I had about a 5-year stretch where I had the best defense in the league. The last 4 years that I coached, we weren't very good. I didn't just suddenly, that system wasn't any good, and I didn't know how to coach. It was the kids. And the problem that Tennessee has got, and a lot of the fans have, is they look at a guy like Pruitt, who was the defense coordinator at Alabama. They were good. Coach Pruitt said multiple times, and if you didn't catch it, then you really wasn't listening to what he said. After the Vanderbilt game, he said, I coached against that team last year. We beat them badly. And the same calls I used last year to beat Vanderbilt, I used today. And we didn't win. We weren't very good on defense. It's not the system. It wasn't the coach. It was the players. And we're in a situation here where we're looking for an OC. Now, I like the thought of getting a guy who has been a coordinator in the past. I don't know that that's a 100% prerequisite, but I think it makes things a little easier. The guy don't have to learn so much on the fly, because there's a lot of things about coordinating that's different outside of the football. But anyways, people get so messed up over the names. What's this guy's name, or where's he been, or what's he done? These guys are major college Division I football coaches. And if you give them a good group of players who are hungry, who want to learn, who will do what they say and play full speed, they will do well. And they'll look like Jeremy Pruitt did at Alabama, one of the best defensive coordinators in the country. When it comes to Tennessee with a different group of players, he didn't forget how to coach. It's about the kids. And so we're all been out of shape over where we're going to hire Hugh Freeze. I mean, what was Hugh Freeze going to do with the problems that we had on offense at Tennessee this year, that Tyson Helton or these other guys weren't able to do. What was he going to do?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you have to, and thanks for the phone call, that's the thing. If you're going to coordinate here at Tennessee, you have to be creative. You have to understand that probably for a year, 2, 3 years, that let me say 2 years, Georgia's probably going to be more talented than you. Okay, you have a chance by year 3 to kind of be really close to Georgia as far as talent. Alabama, it's going to take longer to match that talent if you ever do it. But you have to understand, especially in your first year, 2019, new offense coordinator, you're going to have to be really good at setting plays up. You're going to have to be really good at scheming, because you're not going to be able just to line guys up and run what you want to run and say, okay, my guys are better than your guys, we're going to get it done. You're going to have to be creative. You have to understand that going in. And you're playing against a defense in the SEC week in and week out that's going to have some NFL draft players on defense. The defensive ends are faster, they're bigger, they're more athletic than any other conference in America. We saw some of that creativity from Tyson Helton in that Auburn game. We saw some of that. We saw that in the Kentucky game, especially with the backs being used in the passing game in the middle of the football field. We saw that creativity. We saw how Tyson Helton was able to scheme up really good plays. That offensive coordinator of next year for us will have to do the same thing. I would like to have a dude who has coordinated. I don't think I want a quarterback's coach who is just going to give it a go at offensive coordinator for Tennessee. No, I think I need to see some experience. I'm with you. I'm with you, Billy. Good phone call. We got Attaboy coming up next. We got Around the SEC coming up. We got Touchdown Turnover coming up. We got Chris Lowe from ESPN coming up. Stay with us.
You're driving home, flashing blue lights in your rearview mirror. The next thing you know, you're being arrested for DUI. Be responsible, but remember, just because you're arrested doesn't mean you're guilty. Call DUI and criminal defense attorney Marcos Garza. Put this number in your phone right now, 865-540-8300, because you never know when you or a friend will need it. Don't say guilty, say Garza. 865-540-8300 and GarzaLaw.com.
Today will be sunny with a high of 50 and a low of 33. Tomorrow, give thanks with more sunshine, a high near 53 and a low around 34. Friday, even more sun with a high in the low 50s. Weather on the Swain Event is brought to you by B-Dry. If your basement is wet or cracked, B-Dry can help. BDry.com.
Gentlemen, when it comes to health and quality of life, there are numbers every man needs to know, including our testosterone number. I recommend going to Low T Center. They make it quick and easy to get your levels checked, and it's covered by most health insurance. Low T levels can make you feel tired and grumpy. It can raise your cholesterol, cause weight gain, and loss of muscle mass. Low T Center's physicians specialize in treating low T in men. Listen to me here. They know men's health and are reinventing men's health care. Call 865-392-1388 or go to lowtcenter.com.
Do you have cracks in your foundation? A wet basement or a nasty, leaky crawl space? Our listeners have heard about them on the Swain Event for over a year, and now it's time to make the call. Give B-Dry Waterproofing and Foundation Repair the opportunity to fix your home's problem. Since 1958, that's right, nearly 60 years, B-Dry has been solving basement, crawl space, and foundation problems throughout the country. B-Dry only uses high-quality materials from reputable manufacturers. They back their installations with some of the best warranties in the industry to provide homeowners with added peace of mind. They are truly an A-plus company. Whenever you start experiencing a wet basement, leaky crawl space, or a cracked foundation, remember these 3 words: better call B-Dry. Reach out to B-Dry today at 865-662-5238 to schedule your free appointment. That's 865-662-5238. Remember, better call B-Dry.
It's almost football time in Tennessee, which means it's time to get geared up at Alumni Hall. Find the best selection of Nike, Nike Golf, Tommy Bahama, and all those retro logos you love. Don't forget about your game day crew. Plenty of selection for the ladies, the little balls, and to upgrade that tailgate. Shop now at one of their 6 convenient locations in Tennessee or 24/7 at alumnihall.com.
More than 23 million Americans have diabetes. Uncontrolled diabetes increases your chance of kidney disease, leg and foot ulcers, and even limb amputation. November is Diabetes Awareness Month, and the vascular surgeons at Premier Surgical Associates urge those with diabetes to keep it under control. Manage your blood sugar levels, exercise, don't smoke, and get regular checkups. It's also important to keep your feet and legs healthy. Diabetes makes it harder for wounds and infections to heal. Diabetes is a chronic condition, but it can be managed. Visit premiersurgical.com right now for more information. Premier Surgical Associates, expertise you can trust.
I just wanted to come by and congratulate you on the great work you've been doing.
I like your style. You remind me of a young me.
Failure is not an option.
That boy is good.
Homes, remind yourself, nobody built like you. You design yourself.
Attaboy.
All right, gentlemen, we have Attaboy where we highlight positivity, highlight things that are worth mentioning, let folks know that a lot of good deeds are being, a lot of good deeds out here in the world. It can be inside of sports, it can be outside of sports, it can be with old folks, young folks, black folks, white folks, yellow folks, pink folks, don't matter. Just be a good person. Just be a good person. It's not that hard, just be a good person. Attaboy is brought to you by Premier Surgical and premiersurgical.com.
Having surgery can be scary, and having to navigate around a massive medical center can be even more overwhelming. Fortunately, there's the Premier Office-Based Surgery Center on Paper Mill here in Knoxville, and it offers a convenient and affordable option for surgical care. Their skilled surgeons and friendly staff treat you just like family. Visit premiersurgerypackages.com for more details about what they do. The Premier Office-Based Surgery Center, surgical expertise you can trust. I have an Attaboy that was sent in by listener at BigOrangeJB on Twitter. Thank you so much for this one. I love this. Here's the headline. Snowball ban overturned in Colorado town after a request from 9-year-old boy. Here's what it says. A boy's request to throw snowballs legally in his town ended in victory on Monday when trustees of Severance, Colorado agreed with a request from Dane Best, age 9, to overturn a long-held ban on snowball fights. Best won the town board over with this cold logic. Quote, today's kids need reasons to play outside. Research suggests that a lack of exposure to the outdoors can lead to obesity, ADHD, anxiety, and depression. He spoke in front of a crowd of residents and media. Best told town trustees that because of the nearly 100-year-old ban, which classified snowballs as a missile, interestingly enough, he could throw a snowball without worrying about breaking the law or getting into trouble. The trustees were convinced. They overturned the law, and now the kids of Severance, Colorado can throw all the snowballs that they want and go outside. And Dane could not be more correct. Kids these days need to go outside and you know, stop looking at that iPad, stop watching YouTube, and go smell the fresh air outside. I love this. Good for Dane Best. This is a great little story.
I have 2 quick attaboys, and they may have been mentioned on Monday when I was not here, when I was out for my mom's birthday. Happy belated birthday to my mother. But there's only one school with both its men's and women's basketball programs ranked in the top 10 of the latest AP poll, and that is the men's basketball team of the University of Tennessee and the mighty Lady Vols. Men's team's number 7, women's team number 9. So attaboy to the 2 basketball programs. Even if it was mentioned, that deserves to be mentioned twice because that is quite a feat. And my second attaboy goes to Darrell Taylor, Nigel Warrior, Marquez Callaway, and Kyle Phillips, who were named the team captains for the previous season.
Like it.
Good stuff.
I know Pruitt wanted to wait to the end to do that. So
smart decision, unlike what our favorite coach of all time, Butch Jones, did.
Yeah. Good decision by Pruitt. All right, so this attaboy, attagirl, I'm giving it it's an attaboy and an attagirl. If you have not seen this story, it is powerful. That's why I'm going to share it. Florida lacrosse player Mackenzie Mason This is the daughter of Vanderbilt's head coach, Derek Mason. Says, I have to keep fighting. She says, my name is Mackenzie Mason. I'm a 19-year-old student athlete at University of Florida, and I'm currently battling depression and anxiety. Back in early September, I chose to return home to Nashville to focus on my mental health because it was getting in the way of my ability to function. But when I got home, I felt more hopeless than ever that recovery was possible for me. She is the daughter, again, of Derek Mason. And I'm giving an attaboy to her for telling her story and opening herself up, exposing herself, and just being vulnerable. I give an attaboy to Derek Mason for allowing this, because there's nothing worse than seeing your kid hurt. It's nothing worse than that as a parent. And I remember doing a 49ers primetime game where ESPN did a piece on Solomon Thomas. Solomon Thomas was a first-round pick out of Stanford, and Derek Mason knows because he coached at Stanford and probably coached Solomon Thomas. Solomon Thomas' sister, Ella, she committed suicide because she also battled serious depression and anxiety. And so I just want to give an attaboy to Derek Mason. I'm a fan of Derek Mason. Unfortunately, he is coaching the rival team there, Vanderbilt, and I even hate to admit that they're a rival, but I guess that's what it is right now. But some things are bigger than football, and this is bigger than football. And so there's going to be so many people in sports that will be positively affected by Mackenzie coming out and making herself vulnerable and sharing her story. You look at Washington State, and they dealt with the tragedy not too long ago with their quarterback taking his own life because of depression. And so this is a serious topic. Our athletes, we want them to be Superman on the football field and win every game. And I understand that because it's just a big money business. But at the end of the day, these guys they're young men. These young women, they're athletes as well, and they go through things. And sometimes they don't know how to handle disappointment. They don't know how to handle failure. So I just wanted to say thank you to the Masons for just opening up their lives, because they could just keep this a secret because of their profile. I mean, Derek is a SEC football coach. You don't want to maybe share your family's problems, but this is something that can help other athletes. And so I just want to give an attaboy. I know it's a little deep. I know it's a little heavy, but I could not see this story and just let it go. Let it pass and not bring it up, because this is very, very, very cool. So wish the best for the Mason family as they battle this together. Depression of their young athlete, Mackenzie Mason at the University of Florida. Wish her nothing but the best. We have hour 2 coming up. We will talk to Chris Lowe at 8:15. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End BBQ, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. Stay with us.
If you love the Swain Event and you want more of the show every day, you can now get it with Swain Event Plus. Swain Event Plus features exclusive, in-depth interviews with former Vols.
She saved my life. I probably would have never made the college, man.
I looked at him and said, Coach, no disrespect. I'm going to Tennessee. I'm going to play in the SEC.
With Swain Event Plus, you can also get access to the exclusive podcast Reel on the Hill with Tennessee media legend John Bryce.
What is going on there with that battle?
I had lunch with some folks over the course of this past week who indicated some inside the program believe that Jarrett Garantano is really ready to take that next step.
So go to SwainEventPlus.com right now to sign up and check out all of the amazing extras that you can get. That's SwainEventPlus.com. Get more.
Touchdown or turnover is up next on the Swain Event.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to ofonox.com. That's ofonox.com.
Alcoa Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union has helped people save money for almost 80 years. Whether it's free checking, financing a vehicle, or purchasing that new home, Alcoa 10 is here to help you. Better rates, better service. Check them out at atfcu.com.
Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
Member NCUA.
Touchdown or Turnover is backed by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
All right, Charlie. Touchdown Turnover is backed by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong. Better rates and better service. Charlie has a touchdown turnover for us today. So, Charlie, the floor is yours.
Just got a question for you that I think a lot of people want to know the answer to. Touchdown turnover. Tennessee will have an offensive coordinator by this coming Monday.
So we have Wednesday.
All the way through the weekend.
We have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
5 full days.
5 full days. What school do we cover? Again? Tennessee, right?
Yeah, University of Tennessee.
Cover Tennessee. 5 full days. I'm going touchdown. I think they have a coordinator between now and Monday. Ugh, I'm not confident about it. But I'm going touchdown. Touchdown.
I'm going turnover because there's growing suspicion to me that there's no real plan outside of Hugh Freeze and Chip Lindsey. And Chip Lindsey is no longer on the board. Hugh Freeze, each day that goes on, my confidence that he'll be Tennessee's next offensive coordinator lessens, because realistically, Jeremy Pruitt could have gotten that deal done last week if you really wanted it to. And outside of that, we haven't really heard any other names. I mean, you've heard Drinkwitz and Dan Enos, maybe Jim Chaney, maybe Michael Oxley. I just don't see real clear plan, and maybe that's credit to Jeremy Pruitt for holding things close to the vest. But like you just said, we covered Tennessee, and things tend to get out because of how many people are searching for information. So I go turnover because I don't see a clear plan right now, and I'm okay with it. I don't care if Jeremy Pruitt doesn't hire an offensive coordinator until the day before summer workout starts. I don't care if he would have hired an offensive coordinator the day that Tyson Helton left. Just hire the right guy. So to me, I don't care when it is. Just I don't think it's going to be by Monday.
It's a tough one. I'll say touchdown. I'm a lot like you, Swain. I don't know, especially if it is a situation like Ben is talking about where they don't have a contingency plan. Lord, I hope they have a contingency plan. But I will say that they do get it figured out by Monday. I mean, you're so deep in the weeds now. Surely you can figure it out in the next, I guess, 5.5 days. Please. It needs to happen. But I will say this about what you said, Ben. You said you were okay if they didn't have a plan. I'm not okay.
That's not what I said.
Well, that's what it sounded like.
I said I don't care Jeremy Pruitt doesn't sign an offensive coordinator until the day, or hire an offensive coordinator until the day before summer workout starts.
Okay. I don't know that I'm okay with that. Either way you put that. I mean, specifically because you've gotten this far at this point. What has happened that would take it to that date, that far out? Surely that will not happen.
Sure, that's an exaggeration. But
I'll put. Well, I mean, either way, even to, next Friday
But
would be pretty extreme, I would say.
What if waiting results in getting a guy like Freddie Kitchens? I'm signing up for that all day. Why should
You'd have to wait a while for him? Yeah.
Why should we rush the offensive coordinator hire just to hire somebody? Why not do your due diligence, vet every possible candidate, and hire the right guy, regardless of when it is? Obviously, the day before summer workouts is an exaggeration, but my point was, I don't care when you make the hire, just hire the right guy.
Except, is your right guy gone by waiting that long? It would be my argument there, because everybody else isn't going to wait like that. You got USC. They did lock down Cliff Kingsbury yesterday, reportedly.
Yep, they did. Finally.
And you got situations like that hanging out there. Chip Lindsey going to Kansas. I mean, there are people making moves, and you don't want to get completely left behind by just sitting and saying, "Well, we're waiting on the right guy." That's a great thought, but just don't let your right guy go somewhere else. So I'll say yes, by Monday this is resolved. Will I say what day it's going to happen? No. It's tough right now in terms of guessing what's going to happen in this. I figured it would be over by this point, and here we are. So it's a weird situation, but I think we'll get it resolved soon enough.
Let's get to Jay on the B-Drive Waterproofing Hotline, 865-200-5503. Jay, good morning.
Swain, I kind of agree with Ben, man. It doesn't sound like we got much of a plan. I mean, it just doesn't really sound like there's really any real sort of plan or any real sort of direction to this coaching search. And it sounds like we're basically starting back from ground zero. Because I think the longer this draws out, I think it's pretty obvious Hugh Freeze is not coming. So, where do you go? Where do you go from here? I mean, Jesse Simonton was kind of talking about it, and it was, I mean, he was just like, they're not, the talks aren't dead, but they're dormant, and he basically was just like, I don't know where they're going to go from here. There's no real candidates out there that, that we can really nail down that we think are real. So this has just been the weirdest. I don't even want to say that because the next coaching search here will be even weirder, but because we live in the Bermuda Triangle of the SEC, it seems like. I mean, it's just like, I don't even really know how to verbalize it, man. I mean, it's just one after the other. It is one after the other here.
Ben has a solution. Ben has a coordinator that he's been over here drooling about. I won't illustrate any more examples on radio. Ben is really excited. Let me just say that. Ben, who's this guy that you're all excited about?
Matt Canada, and for now 3 reasons. I had 2. The first reason, A, he turned Nathan Peterman into a respectable quarterback in just 1 season. B,
that's
fine. We'll stop right there.
That's it. That's
huge.
That's it.
He made Nathan Peterman a good quarterback.
All
right,
there.
There
we go. Let's go.
In 1 offseason.
Oh, signed. That's all you need right there, Jay. That's all you need, man.
Let me tell you something. He got Nathan Peterman drafted. So
he sure did.
Highly drafted. What was it, 3rd, 4th round?
Yeah.
I would be thrilled. I would be thrilled with Matt Canada.
And Jay, here's the thing. Now, Ben made this point up, and we had a little back and forth during the break. I think his experience this year dealing with that absolute firestorm, dumpster fire in Maryland, the way he was able to kind of man the ship, they had a chance to beat Ohio State. That is the type of dude I think that you need if you're Jeremy Pruitt, who can handle offense. You don't have to worry about. He can deal with all the drama. He can still call plays, and be a head coach of an offense. That experience that Matt Canada got during his time in Maryland, I think that was very valuable for him. Very valuable, or as others would say, invaluable.
I would be thrilled with Matt Canada, first of all. I think that'd be a great hire, and I think that closely fits what Pruitt wants to do on offense. But have y'all heard what was the deal with him and Orgeron? I mean, can him and Pruitt coexist? I mean, what was going on with him? Why couldn't him and Orgeron? Because Orgeron doesn't even seem. I mean, Pruitt seems more likely to give you a rear end to than Orgeron. You get what I'm saying? So why couldn't him and Orgeron get along? I'm
going to look at the Matt Canada situation the same way I looked at the Bob Shoop situation. Bob Shoop was successful at Vanderbilt, Penn State, came here, was not, and now he was a finalist for the Burroughs Award. I'm looking at Matt Canada, who was successful at NC State, successful at Pitt. What did he do, Ben?
Turned Nathan Peterman into an NFL quarterback.
He turned Nathan Peterman into an NFL quarterback, a quarterback that went on the road and beat Clemson. And then it didn't work out at LSU. So I'm looking at Coach O a little bit there, meddling and kind of getting his feet under him, being a first-time head coach at LSU. Now, he was a head coach at Ole Miss. He was not ready for that job. I'm gonna side a little bit with Matt Canada here.
Well, and Coach O hated the way kind of Matt Canada does things, which is weird. Why would you bring in the guy and then not like what he's doing? And that being Matt Canada's offense is predicated on a lot of motions to confuse the defense, and Coach O absolutely despised all of the motions in the second half of the season when they lost to Troy, or I believe that was early in the season when they lost to Troy.
Earlier.
Coach O wouldn't let Matt Canada do his motions and all that magical type of things that Matt Canada runs out there. Coach O hated it, and then he kind of let Matt Canada coach towards the end of the year, and the product looked better.
Now I do understand why a head coach wouldn't want an offensive coordinator to do all of this stuff. Like when you're in NC State and when you're at Pitt, you might have to do all that stuff because you don't have the talent. When you are at a place like LSU, man, sometimes you don't need to do all that stuff because you have more talent, and all you're doing is confusing guys. Don't forget 2008 when Coach Former hired Dave Clawson, and he came in here reinventing the wheel. And all these NFL players we had on offense, the Ramon Fosters, who's been, as steady can be in the NFL, the Arian Fosters, these dudes who are NFL players, offense was poor because they were thinking too much. So I think it's worth the conversation. I think Pruitt and Matt Canada should talk. I just tweeted Matt Canada, okay? I asked him if he's ever been to Knoxville.
So you're starting to steal my thunder.
I mean, I'm trying to set it up, man. I'm a matchmaker. That's me, man.
Swain, you read my mind with that Dave Clawson stuff.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
We like eHarmony over here, man. We just trying to match people up. Yeah. That's all.
Hey, I hear you, brother.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see, boys. I'm just gonna constantly check Twitter all throughout the day until this happens. So
welcome to my world.
I'm just driving myself crazy. I wish this could get done.
I'm with you, man.
All right.
We're like farmersonly.com.
Really?
But for coaches.
So we're coaches only.
Coachesonly.com. Where we pair up head coaches with coordinators and assistant coaches.
I believe that's called a search firm.
No, we're naming it something different.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Coachesonly.com.
Coachesonly.com.
Coachesonly.com. Kind of like farmers only, but for coaches. We're just pairing people up who may have some of the similar likes in the world. Hey, you like scoring points? You like winning? Hey, Canada. Why don't you talk to Jeremy Pruitt? Jeremy Pruitt likes winning.
Well, did you tag Jeremy Pruitt in the tweet?
No, I'm pretty sure they saw. I'm pretty sure Tennessee folks saw my tweet. They're following me.
Okay.
I mean, that's not to brag or anything, but they're following me. They know. Hey, Pruitt, maybe you should call Matt Canada. Matt Canada, maybe you should contact Jimmy Sexton through your agent or somebody. I wouldn't be surprised if Matt Canada had Jimmy Sexton, to be honest. I don't know that, but maybe we should look that up. Who is representing Matt Canada? Maybe y'all should talk. Matt Canada, how about you meet me? You think you're meeting me at Market Square at 5 o'clock. And Pruitt, you think you're meeting me at 5 o'clock at Market Square. And then y'all both think you're meeting me, but really I'm just hooking y'all up. Y'all meet Market Square. Y'all talk about some things. That'll be a great conversation.
Or we can just set up the meeting at Dead End.
We can do that too, man.
So apple cobbler.
Yeah, and Pruitt can get his picture taken, and we can put it on the wall right there, too. And Matt Canada.
And we can get some cornbread for Pruitt.
Correct.
The jalapeno
It's a win-win. It's a win-win. It's win-win. Matt Canada, I think that conversation needs to happen. He's available now. He's available, guys. Go. We talked to Chris Lowe coming up next, ESPN. Stay with us.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End BBQ has a new slew of daily specials for the fall. Enjoy a different special meal every day, like the smokehouse stew, barbecue cheddar meatloaf, or the smoked turkey and dressing, which includes sliced smoked turkey and cornbread dressing paired with sautéed Brussels sprouts, mashed potatoes, and a side of turkey gravy. While Dead End offers a different specialty meal each day, you can get their hillbilly chili every day. There is always something new at Dead End BBQ. Located off of Sutherland Avenue, Dead End BBQ. The fall flavor search is over.
We have all made the mistake of dropping or breaking our smartphones. See? But did you know that you can have it repaired for a fraction of the cost that it takes to replace it? Well, you can, because iDrop is the area's leading mobile repair store, home of the 1 hour or less phone repair, 1 year parts warranty, and #1 customer service. Broken screens, cracked cameras, charging ports, batteries, you break it, we'll fix it. If you didn't break your phone, protect it with one of our leading accessories such as LifeProof, OtterBox, UAG, Incipico, Caseology, and Spec. Visit our West Hills location at 7115 Kingston Pike between Office Depot and Hardee's, or call 865-888-9740 and speak with our trained technicians to see how we can get your phone working today. We're here with Dr. Mike Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, or instability, Achilles tendonitis, golfers, or tennis elbow, do what I did and give them a call.
Yeah, Jason, we specialize in regenerative non-surgical orthopedics. So we treat damaged ligaments, tendons, and joints, including things like rotator cuff injuries, knee instability, elbow problems, as well as foot problems like plantar fasciitis, Achilles, things of that nature, by injecting with stem cells and what's called PRP, or platelet-rich plasma. And this form of treatment we do under ultrasound, so we know we have our target. And it also stimulates the body's own reparative process, and this allows for the healing of damaged tissue. And as you well know, numerous professional and collegiate athletes, guys like Steph Curry, Tiger Woods, and even yourself with your ankle injury, have been using this form of treatment for years. And so we offer that same type of treatment here in East Tennessee.
Visit them on the web at trsportsmedicine.com. Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, East Tennessee's leader in regenerative therapy.
Goes your car insurance. Nobody likes surprises, so switch to Erie Rate Lock. Get a great rate that stays that way even after an accident, ticket, or inflation. In fact, it's locked until you change a car, driver, or your address.
Your Erie agent in Knoxville is InsureFit RM. Get a quote at 865-684-4900. That's 865-684-4900.
Erie Rate Lock does not guarantee continued insurance coverage and is not available in all states.
If you aren't following the Swain Event on Twitter, then are you even on Twitter? Hit that follow button. It's the right thing to do.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End BBQ, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. Man, some really, really good stuff over there at Dead End. I know our next guest just wishes he was right there right now enjoying some good Dead End. That is Chris Lowe, ESPN. He joins us via the B Dry Waterproofing Hotline. CeeLo, good morning, my friend.
Good morning, Jason. What time's lunch today?
Hey, whenever you say it is. We on your schedule, man.
You better call George this time and let him know you're coming, and not give him that late invite.
You're right. No, you're right. You're right about that. We definitely got to do that next time, man, because we don't want George to get mad and ban us from coming to Dead End BBQ because we don't give him a heads up or invite.
No, that'd be at the top of my list of great regrets not to be able to get Dead End.
Chris, I think we have decided to come up with a new company. Instead of farmersonly.com or eHarmony that likes to pair people up, we're going to come up with coachesonly.com, which we are going to pair Matt Canada with Jeremy Pruitt so that way they can have a conversation and a discussion, because it just seems like this whole Hugh Freeze thing has run its course, and maybe we should start looking at other candidates. From the latest that you have heard, how close are we to moving forward and looking at some maybe other candidates? Now that Mike Loxley has gone to Maryland, Matt Canada looks available. What are you hearing in these streets, Chris Lowe?
Yeah, and I haven't heard Matt Canada's name specifically, but he certainly would be a guy that I think a lot of people, including Jeremy, would at least want to talk to. Yeah, I think the Freeze thing, I'm not going to call it dead. I think it's probably trending toward not happening. I think that's the guy. Well, I know that's the guy that Jeremy Pruitt, after doing his due diligence and talking to people, thought like in his mind, from a football sense, would be best. I don't know that Philip Fulmer, the AD there at Tennessee, former Hall of Fame head football coach, was ready to go down that path right now. Again, not just based simply on what he wanted, but talking to a lot of different people in and around football, people who've worked with Freeze. And I think there's two ways to look at this. And I know fans and a lot of people in the media say, well, if Freeze makes the most sense football-wise, run it like a business. Take a risk and go get him. But I think when you look at it from a more holistic approach, Jason, and say, well, from a university approach, what else might be out there, covering your bases. Remember Tennessee went through that Title IX investigation years ago. Then you better, at the very least, do your due diligence and make sure this is a road you need to go down. And I'm not saying which side of that is right. What I would say is, whoever it is, if you had real reservations about going down this road, somewhere there's probably not the communication needs to be worked on, because probably you shouldn't even go talk to Hugh Freeze in the first place.
Exactly.
And it become a public deal and get to this point. And maybe part of that is the communication wasn't best. Maybe part of that was Jeremy was being dogged and just was determined to go talk to Freeze. I don't know. Remember, and I think here's the other part of this, is you're dealing with a first-time head coach, a first-time athletic director, a new chancellor. There's a lot of new there at Tennessee. And, you go back to the time when that thing was running like a well-oiled machine. You had Doug Dickey, who's been an AD forever. You had Joe Johnson, who'd been the president forever. You had Philip Fulmer, who'd been the head football coach forever. And there's a difference. There's growing pains. There's a learning curve. And I think probably all that is involved here. But the thing that I know definitively is this. Philip Fulmer, to his core, is Tennessee, and he wants Tennessee to be great again in football. He has reminded people repeatedly since he got the job that his first order of business is to fix football, on all levels. And I think that's what he truly in his heart wants to do. Now, is he going to make every right decision? I don't know. Jeremy Pruitt, I know, is committed to making Tennessee football and making Tennessee football relevant again. It's been a long time, as we all know, those of us who've lived around here. Has he made mistakes as a first-time head coach? Has he gone about doing things the right way every time? No. But they both, I can promise you, both Philip Fulmer and Jeremy Pruitt are on the same page as far as doing what it takes. Will they agree on everything? No. Doug Dickey and Philip Fulmer didn't agree on everything. I think, again, if it's not Hugh Freeze right now, I would say it's trending away from that for reasons I just explained. Then maybe the mistake here, the lesson here is if that's not going to happen, or there's real concerns about why you shouldn't bring Hugh Freeze in, and Tennessee's not the only school that has those concerns, I can assure you that, then you probably shouldn't go talk to him, and it shouldn't become so public in the first place. Now, whoever you want to place the blame on that, go ahead. I mean, I think Jeremy has talked to several people. We'll see where it goes. I mean, I still think Dan Enos could be a possibility, the quarterback's coach at Alabama, if Enos is not the OC at Alabama now that Loxley's gone. Eli Drinkwitz is a guy at NC State, the offensive coordinator, you mentioned Canada. I think there's a very good chance that Jeremy will not rush this now, and we'll hit the reset button and go back and see what else is out there. So we'll see. It's never as easy as it seems from the outside, from a media perspective or a fan perspective. But no, this is sort of all too familiar. I know the Tennessee fans sort of going down this road again.
Chris, you were already touched on my next question there. I mean, you've been as close as anybody to this coaching search so far. Where exactly do you see them turning if, well, let's say if Freeze and Enos both come off the board, where do you think they'll turn?
I don't know, Ben. I think that's where maybe Jeremy hits the reset button and sees with some of the coaches moving, head coaches moving, to see what else is out there. What do you call, Kendall Briles just got a big contract at Houston. What do you call Kendall Briles for? And he hadn't told me that. I'm just sort of throwing. I think he would look at a lot of different people. Would he try to go get Jim Chaney away from Georgia? Is Chaney wanting to move? I doubt it. I doubt that happens. Chaney's at a place where they're going to be really good again next year. So I'm just throwing out names, hypotheticals. I don't know. Freeze is going to have some options, and he has some options. And I think that's the other. I probably should have mentioned this earlier. That's the other part of this. Is I know Freeze is very interested in Tennessee, and has long had a fondness for Tennessee. But he also is looking at what he feels like is best for him right now in his career. And he's talked to Auburn. He's got an opportunity at Auburn. He's talked to Florida State. He's got an opportunity there. I think he's talking to Liberty today about Liberty's head coaching job. So if he wants to be a head coach, and I'm not sure that's the direction he would want to go, but that certainly would be an opportunity. And no question, Alabama's going to call him with Loxley moving on now. Now, would Saban bring him in as co-OC, quarterback's coach, who's calling plays? We bring him in as the primary play caller. I think a lot of that depends on what happens with Enos there. But clearly Saban has an interest in Hugh Freeze, tried to hire him last year, and has a lot of respect for him as a head football coach. But Tennessee's not the only school that's going to ask questions and do its due diligence on Freeze's past, both personally and with the NCAA issues. And you're crazy as a school if you don't. All right, you're short-sighted if you don't talk to people at these places, people he's worked with, going all the way back to when he was a high school coach, because you want to make sure, especially in today's climate, that if you bring somebody in and I've known Hugh for a long time, I think Hugh absolutely deserves a second chance. I mean, we're a country of second chances, and he's been out of coaching for 2 years, and essentially in exile this past year because the SEC did not want him back in the SEC while Ole Miss was serving its last year of a postseason ban. But you still got to look at it from a university standpoint. You want to make sure you check all the boxes. You talk to everybody. You go back and you do a real search and look back at everything in any. I mean, I won't even use his name in any coach's past who's had NCAA issues and was fired from a school for what that school termed a pattern of personal misconduct.
In terms of Matt Canada, going back to his time at LSU, what was going on there between him and Coach O? Because for me, I look at it and view it as a similar situation as Bob Shoop at Tennessee and maybe Chip Lindsey at Auburn.
Right. Yeah, and I think you're onto something there. So sometimes we all get caught up in fantasy coach search. Sometimes the fit is what matters most. And I don't know that he was ever a fit or matched with Ed Ogeron or his vision for that offense jive with what Ed wanted for it. And I just don't think it ever really worked. Maybe a little bit like Tyson Helton, Jeremy Pruitt at Tennessee. And you mentioned Bob Shoop, and when he was here that last year with Butch Jones at Tennessee. But Canada's a guy that, if you go back and look at his background, he's been successful. His offenses have been really good, productive. So I have never been one to judge a coach on 1 year or one stint, especially guys who've done it for a long time. And Tennessee's a great test case to look at that. Look at all the assistant coaches who come through at Tennessee over the years and maybe haven't had the most success. Dave Clawson, Dave Floss has done an excellent job at Wake Forest.
Yep.
Bob Shoop, you just mentioned, look, he's a Broyles Award finalist. Randy Sanders was skewered here. You know, he's done an unbelievable job at East Tennessee State. Sometimes it's timing, it's fit, it's circumstances. You know, there are a lot of those kind of guys. Jim Chaney was, you know, not so much here, but at Arkansas was a guy that they were ready to run out of town. He's done a really good job at Georgia. He coached at Tennessee a long time ago. Of course, was a finalist for the head coaching job. But Kevin Steele had a disastrous tenure as head coach at Baylor, and that was a long time ago. He's come back and been as good a defensive coordinator as is in college football, and still think if he gets a shot somewhere as a head coach that he would do a good job and be better equipped his second time around. So to your point, Ben, yeah, I've done this long enough and I've seen it happen that it's short-sighted to judge or assess a coach or anybody, a sports writer, a radio broadcaster, an attorney, based on 1 year or one stint, especially when they have been in the game or in the business for a long time, and everything else says, well, you know what? They've done a good job. You don't get to be a dumb or bad football coach based on 1 year.
Chris Lowe, ESPN here on the Swain Event. I'm looking at NFL schedule for the teams that stink. Their season will be over at the end of December, and maybe some of those coaches will be available. As I try to think about people who have had a connection maybe to Jeremy Pruitt over the last couple of years, I think about a coordinator there with the Falcons who has he's not had a really great stretch there. A lot of talent. What's the possibility of maybe a coordinator at the NFL level or a coach at the NFL level coming in?
Yeah, well, the first name that comes to mind there, Jason, is Freddie Kitchens, because he goes back a ways. You know, Freddie with the Browns with Jeremy Pruitt. But I was told last night that Freddie's preference is to stay in the NFL right now. I don't know that he's ready to make a move to college. I think he'd be a good one, and I know that Jeremy would certainly be interested in him. But I think right now Freddie is, again, things change. That's the thing you come to learn about this whole off season.
Changes in a minute.
It's fluid, man.
Yeah, it is.
And from day to day, hour to hour.
Yep.
But what I was told last night from somebody who should know is that Freddie probably right now feels like he's better suited or feels comfortable in the NFL.
This is just my imagination here. I have not heard this, but I mean, I think about the Lions, and they stink this year. And Jim Bob Cooter has connections to Tennessee. You look at a guy like a Steve Sarkisian who has connections to maybe Pruitt during his time in Alabama, right, and they stink this year, the Falcons. Let me say that again for Seth Stokes. The Falcons stink this year. So, you just can't really put a limit on anything right now, man. Where Tennessee is, and probably had to restart this thing, and Pruitt making sure to get this thing right. Hey, you're really not in a rush. People want to say that you got to get it for the recruiting. Tennessee has their recruiting class pretty much done, and they beat Jim Harbaugh for a quarterback without an offense coordinator.
Yeah, exactly, which tells you a lot about Jeremy Pruitt and his ability to go recruit.
Yeah, so
and just how dogged he is on the recruiting trail. I mean, the guy's been relentless since he got the job. So, no, you're listen, man. Why rush it and bring in somebody who's not a good fit just to have him in here in a couple of days? And I know it's human nature. We want it right now. We all do, you know. Just like I want you to take me to Dead End like here in 10 minutes and buy me the sausage and cheese plate and the grill with the smoke on. Maybe in a full rack of ribs today.
Calm down, Chris. Calm down, Chris. Calm down. They don't open until 11. 11, Chris. We got to wait till 11. 11 a.m. Then we can go.
But you know what? It's more important to go out and get it right. And if you have to talk to a few extra people, this is an important hire. You know, Jeremy knows that. Philip Fulmer knows that. They need to get this one right. It needs to be a fit, and I think you want to bring in somebody that has the vision and can be creative and innovative, and yet somebody that has a track record, and not necessarily somebody that's new or young or showing a little bit of promise or flash. But I think this is a hire, Jason. It needs to be somebody that's done it and been productive for a number of years. So yeah, if it's somebody in the NFL. Jim Bob Cooter obviously has Tennessee ties. Jason Michael's another one out there.
Ooh, yeah. I like Jason Michael.
he's another guy that I've got a ton of respect for. He's somebody you talk to.
Yeah.
You mentioned Steve Sarkisian, and yeah, you're right. He was there for a little bit with Jeremy on the Alabama staff. There are going to be a lot of people, that he look at, talk to, and I think the most important thing will be finding somebody that he feels comfortable with, someone that he trusts, that he knows. Listen, I could turn it, because Jeremy's a defensive guy. The last thing you want to be as a defensive head coach is somebody you feel like you got to be constantly in that offensive room, and you're not quite sure they're doing what you want them to do. You want somebody you can trust, turn it over to, and they take it and they run with it. And I think that's who he needs to find. But that's where it is right now. And again, I wouldn't 100% rule out that Hugh Freeze is not going to be at Tennessee. But I'd say, based on everything I know, and not just because there's concerns on Philip Fulmer's end about that being the right hire, I think a lot of it too is Hugh has option to sort of sift through what's best for him. But based on all of these different factors, I'd say it's trending more toward him not being here than being here. Certainly much more so than it would have been this time a week ago. And we'll see. But I wouldn't call it completely dead either. Things can change in a hurry, man. By the time you buy me my full rack of ribs at 12 o'clock today at Dead End, or probably closer to 12:30 because I got a busy morning, it may change.
Chris, going to take it in a little bit of a different direction here, but how would you assess the job that Philip Fulmer has done so far as OC? AD, sorry. I got OC on the mind. My apologies. Yeah.
TBD, to be determined. I mean, I think incomplete. I don't think we have enough of a body of work to assess, what he's done. Again, he's learning on the job. This is a brand new world for Philip Fulmer as an AD. Now, what Philip is he's a great manager. He was one of the best things he did as a head football coach was manage that program. And anything that touched his program, he was really good. And I think that's the kind of AD he will be eventually. It's going to take him a while. I think he's got to get, he hasn't made a lot of moves around him. He made a few. CJ Satan, but I think as we go forward over the next year or two, it's going to be important for him to make sure he's surrounded by people that aren't just yes people, that are going to challenge him, are going to think outside the box a little bit, people that know that world better than he does, the AD world. But I think it's, I go back to what Joe Johnson, the former president, used to always say about the football program. When the football program at Tennessee is going good, and it's your front porch, like of a house. The front porch is clean and neat, great curb appeal, then everything in Tennessee's right. And they've got to do whatever they need to do. Maybe they need to think outside the box a little bit. And as I said earlier, I understand the fans say, we got to run this like a business, man. And sometimes in business, you got to take some risks. But I think all these are things that, you want to make it through sure they're calculated risks. You don't want to be, foolish about it. But I think all these are things that Philip is continuing to sift through and learn on the job. But I think that most people who know Philip, and I've known him for 20-plus years, would not debate that nobody wants to see Tennessee do better and be more respected and do it in the right way and get back to competing and winning championships more than Philip Fulmer. And I can promise you that. I had a multitude of conversations with him about that. Now, is he going to do everything the way every fan and every booster want him to do it? No. But I promise you, in his mind and his heart, he's going to do it the way he feels like it's best for the university and the football program and the athletic department.
Chris, going back to Alabama, it still feels that maybe Tennessee's OC hire maybe hinges on some decisions from Nick Saban. What are you hearing about in terms of does Dan Enos get a promotion? Does Butch Jones maybe become wide receivers coach if Josh Gaddis leaves to go to Maryland with Mike Loxley? And then on a separate note, how do you think Kelly Bryant committing to Missouri maybe changes how things play out in the SEC East next year?
Yeah, well, I don't think Gaddis will go with Loxley to Maryland. Now, again, that could change, but based on what I heard last night, I don't know that that's going to happen. I think there's a chance Butch Jones will have an opportunity to go with Loxley to Maryland as a position coach. I think there's probably more of a chance than that than Gaddis going with Locks to Maryland. I don't know that it hinges on Tennessee's OC hire, hinges on what happens at Alabama. I think it could be impacted by what happens there. Again, how does Nick structure it? He look at the way he structured his defensive coordinator gig this past year.
Mm-hmm.
You had Tyson Lupo as a defensive coordinator, Brian Pete Golding as a co-coordinator, and it never really was completely clear who was calling plays. I think they both did at some point. I could see that type of situation with Hugh. I could see him maybe bringing him initially as a co-OC quarterback's coach. If Enos doesn't stay and making Enos quarterback and making the OC, but I could see it at some point Hugh being the guy who's going to call plays. I would say Hugh wants to go somewhere that he's going to call plays, but I know he also is smart enough to realize that going to Alabama, what that's done for other coaches' careers, and working under Saban and learning under him, and oh, by the way, getting to coach Tua Tagovailoa and Jerry Jeudy and that whole crowd, Josh Jacobs, not a bad perk there. So I think it impacts what Tennessee. I don't know if it really hinges on it. And what was the last part you were asking about? What the last part of your question?
Kelly Bryant going to
Kelly
Missouri.
Bryant, yeah, going to Missouri. That's a big get for Barry Odom at Missouri. And you know what? I think it speaks. Drew Lock said a lot of nice things about Derek Dooley, about how much he prepared him and what he did for him. And I know Tennessee fans are probably scoffing, but the one thing about Dooley, let's be honest, when he was at Tennessee, that I guess it was his next to last year, they lit it up on offense. It was defense that was the problem. Now, I'm not saying he's a guy that's going to be in play for a head coach again, but that's a big coup for Barry Odom at Missouri. And you know what I think it does? I think it not wipes out the chances, but I think it may lessen the chances with Auburn now not getting Kelly Bryant that Hugh Freeze would go to Auburn. I think if he chose, let's say the choice is between Florida State and Auburn right now, I think Florida State might win that battle.
Yeah, that's really surprising that Mizzou beat out Arkansas and beat out Auburn. I mean,
yeah,
Gus Malzahn, man, he's in trouble. He's a little bit of trouble there.
He's got to have a big year next year. I mean, there's a group there of fans or boosters that have been laying away for him. I don't think they've ever embraced him, and if he doesn't turn around significantly next year, I don't see him being there in 2020 as head coach.
Yeah, they better figure it out quick, fast, and in a hurry. If you're gonna make that move on Gus Malzahn, you better know who you're going to replace him with, or you're gonna be like Tennessee.
That's right.
Yep.
And that's why we all, again, I include myself in that media. We talk about, well, they got to get rid of this guy. It's not trending in the right direction. All right, well, who are you going to go get? You better get out there. You better have those ducks lined up, man, and know who you realistically can get, who is interested. Because the worst thing now, with everything being out there immediately, all information and everybody, is to have this prolonged coaching search. I won't even go back to what happened last year, where it's out there and keep getting turned down. I mean, that's misery for that school. But you're right. That's a great point, Jason. You better know if you're Auburn. You better know who you're going to go get, who your target is, and you can get them.
Do you think Urban Meyer will coach football again?
Yes, I do. I do. Yeah. I mean, he was vague yesterday, and listen, that's one of those questions where he's still. I mean, gosh, I remember when I was up there last preseason and talking with him. We're basically the same age. I think he's 50. I'm 53. He's still a young guy, and I know he's got some health issues. I mean, the cyst, that's real stuff. I know people make light of, things go bad. He fakes an illness. No, that's real. He had surgery for that, and I'm not saying that. I'm not defending him on some of the other things he's done, and he hasn't told the truth all the time. But he's still a young guy, and I think once he gets away and recharges, and his family's on board, because I know they were worried. I know that for a fact, and that was a big part of this, stepping away now, is they just felt like he needed to get away based on the whole Zach Smith scandal, his health, everything. But he was vague about it yesterday when they asked him. So that tells me if the right opportunity, and right job comes open, and maybe he takes a look at the NFL the next time. But I think if it's a blue blood, proven type of job, where at Ohio State and Notre Dame, think about the opportunities he's had here. Jason, when he came from Utah, it was Florida or Notre Dame. Well, that's a pretty good choice.
Yeah.
He went spent a year at ESPN, and Penn State was interested in Ohio State. So it'll be a job like that, a Notre Dame, a USC, or an NFL job. But no, I do think if you ask me right now, do I think he's going to coach again? Yes, I think there's a much better chance that he will coach again than he won't coach again.
Do you think the college football committee got it right with the 4 teams? I mean, you look at Georgia, how they play Alabama, had Alabama beat if it wasn't for that fake punt that everyone kind of saw coming with the quarterback coming in, Justin Fields. Do you feel like that the playoff committee got it right with the 4 teams?
No, well, I think Georgia's one of the best 4 teams right now.
Yeah.
Put it this way: if you ask me, someone who covers football for a living, has watched a lot of these teams, seen them practice, and knows a lot about the personnel. I don't know everything, but I know a good bit. If you said who are the 4 teams that you would least want to play right now, Georgia would be in my 4. I mean, that's the way I would answer that question. Now, does their resume, because they lost 2 games, they had a chance, they led their championship game, couldn't finish the game, where does that factor in when you see that Oklahoma won its championship game and avenged its own loss? I mean, I understand that's a part of it, but the challenge is supposed to get the 4 best teams based on the entire body of work over the season. That's a very subjective challenge, and as the great Roy Kramer told me one time, there's never going to be a perfect system. It's always going to be subjective. You're always going to be comparing in college football the way it's set up. Guys, you're always going to be comparing apples to oranges and oranges to apples. You're never going to be comparing apples to apples and oranges because everybody plays in different conferences. They play different schedules. They play different numbers of conference games. They play different non-conference teams. It's always going to be an imperfect system. They've got a hard job, the committee does, and I've done that. I've been up to Grapevine, Texas, and sat in that room and done that mock selection process. It's an exhaustive process. They look at everything imaginable. They have different conversations. They debate teams. They watch film. They look at it like a coach who right now is the most complete team, who's got real weaknesses, i.e. Oklahoma weak on defense, that kind of thing, who may not be able to play in the playoff because they're hurt. They look at all of those factors. But at the end of the day, one of the mandates they give you is if it's close and one team is not, in their words, unequivocally better, there's a couple tiebreakers that they use, and one of those tiebreakers is conference championship.
Do I need to take out a loan for lunch, or do I need to make sure that my checking and my savings are on the same page? Chris Lowe?
Well, let me think. Let's count it up right now. 4 rack of ribs.
You don't even order that, Chris.
But you know what? Sometimes you got to change it up. 4 rack of ribs, the side of the sausage and cheese plate.
You can't eat that.
Probably won't go with a water today. I'll probably go with a Coke Zero.
Yeah, that's $2.
And you got to finish it up with some banana pudding. So what would that add up
to? Sounds like I might need to call my bank and just make sure that my debit card is going to go through.
Hey, Jason, one thing I do want to say is, and I know you guys have already talked about it, I saw your tweet last night. My prayers go out to Derek Barnett and his family.
Oh, boy, man.
Just awful. And it's a reminder on days that, you think you're going through a tough deal or something's not going just right. It really is perspective about just how our good friend Inky Johnson, every day on his Twitter, quotes Scripture, Lord, thank you for this day. Let us be glad and rejoice in it. And I think when you see things like that happen, number one, my prayers go out to Derek and his family. But number two, man, wake up every morning with a thankful heart.
Man, Chris, Twitter can be Twitter can be a great resource. It can be toxic, and Twitter is a place where I learned about Derek Barnett's brother being killed by a drunk driver, and I just immediately thought about. And I didn't grow up every single day with my brothers, but I have a really good relationship with my brother, and just think about growing up with your sibling every single day. You're playing, you're fighting, you're protecting each other from other bullies or whatever. You ride together, trying to scheme against your parents, and you've seen each other every day, and then one day, like, he's gone, and you'll never see him again. And I just couldn't allow myself to get caught up in the coaching search or little kindergarten fights on social media. Yeah, man, it's just. Oh, man.
It makes you realize what's really important in life. And my only suggestion, and I have to remind myself this, give myself my own advice. You know what? Hug those people you love, your kids, your wife, your dad, your mom, your friends. Hug them a little longer and a little tighter tonight.
Yep. Golly, man, you just never know, Chris. And thanks so much for your time.
Yeah,
I guess I'll be talking to you soon. I'm gonna go over here.
I always look forward to it, man. I'm gonna make sure my appetite grows steadily over these next 3 hours.
They open at 11, Chris. So you gotta calm down. You gotta wait. Okay.
See you guys.
All right, see you, Chris.
Care.
Chris Lowe, ESPN here. Guess I gotta go take out one of those advanced cash loans. Put my car title up. Get some money out so we can take Chris Lowe out to lunch for joining the program today. So here we go. I think anytime you have uncertainty and you don't know, I think for some people, the automatic emotion is anger. Well, I don't know what's going on. Let me just get mad. Some people are like that. But I look at the situation, and there's still some really good candidates out there. Like, what coordinator has been hired in the last 2 weeks where you're like, oh my gosh, other than Kingsbury, who you weren't going to get anyways. Other than Cliff Kingsbury, I wasn't like shooken. I wasn't like shook into my core that Chip Lindsey went to Kansas and we didn't get him. I'm not going to be that way with Hugh Freeze, even if Liberty gets him or someone else gets him. I'm not going to be, because I know they got to do the same due diligence. And Hugh Freeze's offense wasn't like unstoppable when he was at Ole Miss. He had some questions there. I want to know who Tennessee is going to hire, and I want to make sure it's the right fit. I know folks don't want to hear that, but it's truly how I feel. I want to see what Tennessee's going to do. I said this earlier in the show. Chris Lowe kind of said some of the same things. The only thing that could have been better is probably how we handled the Hugh Freeze interview. And if you're going to vet him and do all those things, why not do all those things before you interviewed him and before you got all serious and made it public, and now it seems like you didn't communicate? That's the only thing that could have been better. But again, when you're dealing with a first-time head coach, when you're dealing with a first-time AD, I'm not really surprised. At the end of the day, I know there's two guys working together that want to win, and they want to win bad. And one of those guys played at Tennessee, coached at Tennessee, and is Tennessee. So I still have a lot of confidence in Coach Fulmer. I don't expect him to do everything right. I don't think he's been perfect as an AD. But I do think when it comes to football, he want to help get football right. He said that. Even when he spoke at a couple different functions, and he probably should have said as AD that all sports matter. No. He said, yeah, I'm here to fix football. Y'all know why I'm here. Coach Fulmer pulled a Marshawn Lynch. Y'all know why I'm here. I'm here to fix football. That's what I'm here for. That's why I'm still confident in Coach Fulmer and Jeremy Pruitt working together. I'm not sitting here pretending like Hugh Freeze doesn't come with baggage and we don't have a history with Title IX, and Hugh Freeze doesn't have some things that kind of make you pause a little bit. I can't sit here and pretend like I don't see those things or understand those things. I do. The communication could have been better, no doubt, on Tennessee's side with the Hugh Freeze stuff. But Matt Canada wasn't available 2 days ago. Now he is. Do you go NFL route? Do you go some other route? It's not done yet. Hiring the right guy is more important than hiring a guy the fastest. Hiring the right guy is more important than hiring a guy this week or next week. Just get the right guy. And stop trying to use recruiting as an excuse to speed up a hire. Jeremy Pruitt just got Harrison Bailey, who I had many people tell me, I think he's going to Michigan. A guy that I trust about recruiting told me Tennessee, and even when I told that guy who told me Michigan, he was like, man, if he goes to Tennessee, that'd be news to me because all I'm hearing is Michigan. He picked Tennessee. Tennessee doesn't even have an offensive coordinator. Jeremy Pruitt is a defensive guy. So Harrison Bailey picking Tennessee is even more deserves even more attention, even more attaboy to Jeremy Pruitt for even pulling that off. And then you have a guy like Eric Gray, who he definitely needs to know who his offense coordinator is going to be. He's not a back that is 230 pounds. Man, he's an all-purpose back. He is a little bit smaller. And so how you use him is going to be very, very important. But, man, he's been to Tennessee so many times I can't even count after decommitting from Michigan.
I know he and Todd Chandler sure would look good in a Matt Canada offense.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he would. But don't use recruiting as an excuse to speed this thing up. Recruiting is not a problem. Tennessee has most of their positions filled. They have a few guys they're looking at offensively. They're looking at a speedy wide receiver, things like that. But offensive line looks like it's pretty much sold up. They got their 2 tight ends, big physical guys who can also catch. They got that. So don't try to scapegoat and use recruiting because recruiting's good. Recruiting's good right now. As much as I want and hire, and trust me, I do, because my goodness, it's been just crazy. The infighting, the fake beef on Twitter.
So annoying.
I mean, it's annoying. Like, how old are we? Like, it's annoying. You got a guy like Chris Lowe, who is one of the most respected journalists in this profession. And last week, things were different than it was this week. You got people saying, well, that just proves me that no one knows. Huh? No, things change. Things change. Things are fluid. Last week, Matt Canada wasn't available. This week he is. Things change. I know for a fact that a recruit was told that Chip Lindsey was at the top of the list and was a top candidate. Well, guess what happened? Things changed, and he went to Kansas. That happens. These things are fluid. So I put my trust in Coach Former, Jeremy Pruitt, to make this decision and make the right decision for Tennessee. And if it's a wrong decision, which I'm not going to know until the season anyways, then we'll do what we always do, and that's keep it real with our commentary. Hour 3 coming up. Hour 2 is brought to you by Alumni Hall. Let's go around the SEC to start hour number 3 here on the Swain Event. Stick around.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
We have all made the mistake of dropping or breaking our smartphones. See? But did you know that you can have it repaired for a fraction of the cost that it takes to replace it? Well, you can, because iDrop is the area's leading mobile repair store, home of the 1 hour or less phone repair, 1-year parts warranty, and #1 customer service. Broken screens, cracked cameras, charging ports, batteries, you break it, we'll fix it. If you didn't break your phone, protect it with one of our leading accessories such as LifeProof, OtterBox, UAG, Incipico, Caseology, and Spec. Visit our West Hills location at 7115 Kingston Pike between Office Depot and Hardee's, or call 865-888-9740 and speak with our trained technicians to see how we can get your phone working today.
knows your car insurance.
Nobody likes surprises, so switch to Erie Rate Lock. Get a great rate that stays that way even after an accident, ticket, or inflation. In fact, it's locked until you change a car, driver, or your address.
Your Erie agent in Knoxville is InsureFit RM. Get a quote at 865-684-4900. That's 865-684-4900.
Erie Rate Lock does not guarantee continued insurance coverage and is not available in all states.
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
Beatty Chevrolet is celebrating 85 years of low prices. And during Truck Month, choose from over 400 trucks and SUVs, all deeply discounted. Like a new Silverado, now 25% off. A new Equinox, now 20% off. And a certified pre-owned 15 Equinox or Terrain, now $16,995. Plus, buy with confidence with the Beatty warranty for life.
Big selection and even bigger savings. That's why it's better at Beatty Chevrolet.
Stock number 232, savings off MSRP, include document savings and manufacturer incentives with approved credit list finance through GMF. Offer expires 8/31/18.
When you're out running around shopping for all your holiday gatherings, don't forget to grab the Mrs. Grissom's. Mrs. Grissom's salads and cheese spreads are perfect when you need a delicious, easy meal and ready-to-eat containers the whole crowd will enjoy, like the Select Old-Fashioned Pimento Cheese or Cranberry Pecan Chicken Salad or the classic Mrs. Grissom's Ham Salad. Select the best. Select Mrs. Grissom's. Find recipe ideas and coupons at mrsgrissoms.com.
I'm Vince Moore, wide receiver, VFL 1991, and you're listening to the Swain Event. Around the SEC, powered by 42nd Street Marketing, your game-winning play call for design, marketing, and branding.
Around the SEC is brought to you by 42nd Street Marketing, specializing in custom website design, logo design, and print design. They are the only company I trust my branding with. 42nd Street, the team that turned around the Swain Event website. SwainEvent.com, custom built, 100% scratch. Good folks over there do a great job. 42sd.com is the website. Call Mike at 865-382-7007. Ben, where are we going today in the SEC?
We're going all over the place. But first, I want to mention that, and I asked Chris Lowe about it, but Kelly Bryant did decide to, I guess, commit to Missouri over Auburn and Arkansas. I don't blame him for going to Missouri over Auburn. Why would you want to go to Auburn right now if you are an offensive player? And then I was surprised that he picked Missouri over Arkansas. We had a touchdown and turnover about a month ago, I guess it was, of does Kelly Bryant end up at Arkansas because of his relationship with Chad Morris? And I said touchdown. And because of that relationship with Chad Morris, I thought he would go to Arkansas. He did not. Yeah. And when you look at what Missouri is going to have on offense next year, it kind of makes sense as to why Kelly Bryant would want to spend his one season at Missouri in the SEC rather than at Arkansas, because Arkansas is very depleted. They'll have Larry Roundtree, Demarie Crockett back at running back. At receiver, they'll have Jalen Knox and several other guys coming back. They return 9 guys at receiver next year. They return their Albert O, their big-time tight end that they like to use. That was phenomenal this year.
He was hurt against us, yeah.
And then they return 3 starters along the offensive line. So, and not only did Kelly Bryant commit to Missouri last night as a grad transfer, but Jonathan Nance, a graduate transfer from Arkansas, a receiver, committed to Missouri as well. So Derek Dooley loses Drew Lock, but boy, does he have an offense to play with next year, and that'll be something to watch going forward.
I definitely saw some guys from Missouri. I follow a bunch of them just through doing sports media, and there was almost this talk like Kelly Bryant was going to be better than Drew Lock. Drew Lock's better than Kelly Bryant.
Yes.
Yes, Kelly Bryant, that's exciting for you all, and that's a way better situation than you were going to have if he wasn't there. But
he's going to do a better job or be a better football player.
I don't want to put words in the mouth, but there was just so much excitement where I was like, yes, this is great and it's an incredible gift for Barry Odom, but you are actually downgrading from the guy that you had before at the end of the day. And it's purely out of necessity. Drew Lock is, excellent. He's going to be an NFL quarterback. But that's, I don't know if it's more great for Missouri or more of an indictment of Arkansas and Auburn.
I think both.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of both. That's a bad look for Auburn. Auburn should have been his choice. How is Auburn not more appealing there? And I think your answer is Gus Malzahn and the dysfunction.
Their offensive coordinator just left Gus Malzahn at the altar for Kansas.
Yep.
And Les Miles.
All you gotta do is talk to Jarrett Stidham, and you won't go to Auburn.
And
Jarrett Stidham was supposed to be. Jarrett Stidham was better at Baylor than at Auburn. And Jarrett Stidham was a true freshman when he was at Baylor. And that should never happen. And that speaks to Gus Malzahn's inability to develop quarterbacks. He just can't do it. And so there is this I think I saw the 3-man front down there. Cole Kubik's on that show was retweeting tweets about the conversation that they were having. And I saw one tweet that was retweeted that said something to the effect of a quarterback who won't play the NFL is not better than a quarterback who will play the NFL. And it just, to me, just has nothing to do with college. Who would you take right now in college? Right now in college, are you taking Tim Tebow or are you taking Matthew Stafford? Right now, as your college quarterback.
Tim Tebow.
Are you taking Charlie Ward, Eric Crouch, or are you taking a quarterback who's successful in the NFL but didn't do anything in college? You're taking the best college quarterback. Mm-hmm. We play in college, so yeah, Drew Lock may be a better NFL quarterback. But, man, Kelly Bryant may be pretty dang good in Missouri. Why? Because there's so much put on a quarterback with legs at the college game. Right. They impact more than a quarterback at the pro level that have those same legs. Give me RG3 in college. You can keep RG3 in the pros. Give me Tim Tebow in college. You can keep Tim Tebow in the pros. Give me freaking Sam Bradford at college. You can keep Sam Bradford in the pros. So there's a difference. And so Kelly Bryant, he may be good. Now, I think Drew Lock's a better NFL prospect. I think he'll be a better NFL player. But this is a heck of a get for Barry Odom. This is a heck of a pickup. Missouri, getting a guy like Kelly Bryant, who last year was a starting quarterback in a college football playoff, that soaked up all this knowledge from Deshaun Watson. This is a big pickup. You don't fall off the cliff if you Missouri at the quarterback position.
No.
You may get better. You may stay the same, or you may get a little bit worse.
And that's just because of how good Drew Lock is.
Exactly. And that's a pretty dang good position to be in if you're Derek Dooley and Barry Odom, for sure.
Absolutely. And I don't think he chooses Missouri if Missouri doesn't have the pieces to go around him, because I firmly believe that if you can contain Kelly Bryant, he's not necessarily going to beat you with his arm. I'm not saying he's a bad passer, but he's definitely no Drew Lock. So if you can contain him, and he's really the only thing a part of that offense. I go back to the early Mizzou days in the SEC when they had James Franklin, and it was just him at quarterback on offense.
He was a problem.
He was a problem on offense, but if you contained him, you probably beat Missouri.
I think something that will be interesting, though, is this. Derek Dooley in his career has never really worked with a dual threat guy. And you think about it, Tennessee, he didn't really have one. Bray definitely wasn't one. And then, obviously, he wasn't an OC with the Cowboys, and then now he's here. So I don't know who his guys were at La Tech, but he was bad at La Tech either way. So I think that'll be interesting.
Yeah, that's
to
an
see where he
interesting
goes
point.
there.
Speaking of Jarrett Stidham and wrapping up around the SEC, Jarrett Stidham did declare for the NFL draft yesterday.
Smart
man, and now Auburn's looking.
Who's their QB?
Right now, it looks like Cord Sandberg. I believe that's his name. He is actually a 26-year-old lefty who spent 7 years in minor league baseball. He was actually a big-time quarterback coming out of high school, but he was drafted, chose to go play minor league baseball. He's kind of like a Brandon Weeden. And so I think technically he'll be a sophomore, or he might have redshirted this year, but he'll be like a 26-year-old redshirt freshman. But other than that, they don't really have anybody. They're bringing in Bo Nix. That's who they're bringing in. Big-time 5-star quarterback, the son of the great Auburn quarterback. His dad was before my time, so I'm not very familiar with his name. I apologize. But to your point, who is Auburn's quarterback going to be next year? A.J. Brown, receiver from Ole Miss, he declared for the NFL draft yesterday. He might be the first receiver off the board this upcoming draft. And then you have Devin White. He won the Butkus Award, which is a very honorable award. And
top linebacker.
Yes, top linebacker. And then the last thing I'll mention, and it's somewhat SEC related, but Jalen Hurd will not play in Baylor's bowl game against Vanderbilt because he underwent a procedure on his knee, and he will not be able to play in the bowl game against Vanderbilt. And I thought Matt Rule, Baylor's coach, had a very interesting quote. Hurd suffered the knee injury in the regular season finale against Texas Tech when he was supposed to play running back. Hurd still played the remainder of the game, but mostly at wide receiver. And Matt Rule said, I told him that he probably shouldn't play because he has a big NFL future ahead of him. He hurt his knee, but he wouldn't come out. He was going to play a lot of tailback, but he couldn't. He went out there, caught 4 balls, and made some great blocks. It was one of the more selfless acts for this team.
Good job, man. That's growth. That's growth. Jalen Hurd has grown. In 2 years, he's grown, and that's what life is all about. That's what college football is all about. So happy for him. Big fan of how he plays the game, which that transitions me into a list of players not playing in a bowl game. It's growing and growing by the year. This year, according to 247 Sports, Deebo Samuel's not going to play.
Smart.
Noah Fant, Iowa's tight end, is not going to play, who is number 1 on a lot of people's draft board. He's not going to play in his bowl game. Rashawn Gary, supposed to be Tennessee, but he declared for the draft, and he's not going to play. Ed Oliver, the defensive tackle from Houston, a lot of people feel like he's a first-rounder. He is not going to play in his bowl game. Keneal Harry, Arizona State, he's not going to play.
Have you seen him play this year?
He's pretty good.
He's good.
Justice Hill, Oklahoma State running back. He's not going to play. Greedy Williams, LSU's not going to play. Man, there's a long list of guys not playing. Kelvin Harmon, NC State. He's not going to play.
And the overwhelming take from everybody that I've seen, in sports media, they give these updates of, oh, this person's not playing in their bowl game because they're declaring for the draft, is always, man, I don't like it. But I understand it. That's everybody's take.
Tennessee has not been put in this situation yet.
No.
I am interested to see the reaction when the day comes that one of Tennessee's better players decides to sit out of the bowl game.
I'm
not talking about from the fan base in general.
No way in the world I could ever knock that decision. Make your money. The NCAA takes advantage of your free labor, and you gotta protect yourself and your money.
I think the only way I would knock it is if it's like a guy that's borderline. He maybe gets drafted, he maybe doesn't. I would knock that decision because, in my opinion, it would be advantageous for you to play in the game because then maybe you can earn yourself some money and guarantee a draft pick. I think the sitting out of bowl games should only be reserved for maybe a guaranteed top 3-round pick.
Hey, man. If you want to sit out a bowl game to prepare for the NFL draft, I don't blame you. I don't care what they say where you're going to be selected. There's so much stock put on that combine. You got NFL GMs there. You got coaches there in Indianapolis. And if you are banged up and you need more time, and I'm going to speak from experience because I played every game with a high ankle sprain as a wide receiver and hurt my money. I ruined my opportunity because I wasn't healthy at Pro Day. I wasn't healthy at the combine. And I strained a muscle as a result of not letting my ankle heal because I was giving my all for my team. So sit out. Sit out. Go get your money. You did enough for your school. You gave your all. Go sit out, man. Go sit out. If folks don't understand that, just too bad. Then you got a chance to change your family's tree forever. Grandkids. One game, a bowl game, that ain't a championship, go sit out. That's why I got a lot of respect for Matt Rule. That's real right there for him to tell Jalen Hurd to go ahead and sit down, don't play. You did enough. You gave your all, thank you. But we're not going to ruin your chances to touch your dreams. All the hard work that Hurd's put in, going from a running back to a wide receiver, that's a lot of hard work. And you don't want to throw that all away just on some Alamo Bowl, toilet bowl game or something like that.
Against Vanderbilt.
Exactly. Swain Event, Hour 3 will continue after this. Hour 3, powered by Low T Center and lowtcenter.com.
For what is coming up on the Swain Event.
Today will be sunny with a high of 50 and a low of 33. Tomorrow, give thanks with more sunshine, a high near 53 and a low around 34. Friday, even more sun with a high in the low 50s. Weather on the Swain Event is brought to you by B-Dry. If your basement is wet or cracked, B-Dry can help. BDry.com. Do you have cracks in your foundation? A wet basement, or a nasty, leaky crawl space? Our listeners have heard about them on the Swain Event for over a year, and now it's time to make the call. Give B-Dry Waterproofing and Foundation Repair the opportunity to fix your home's problem. Since 1958, that's right, nearly 60 years, B-Dry has been solving basement, crawl space, and foundation problems throughout the country. B-Dry only uses high-quality materials from reputable manufacturers. They back their installations with some of the best warranties in the industry to provide homeowners with added peace of mind. They are truly an A-plus company. Whenever you start experiencing a wet basement, leaky crawl space, or a cracked foundation, remember these 3 words: better call B-Dry. Reach out to B-Dry today at 865-662-5238 to schedule your free appointment. That's 865-662-5238. Remember, better call B-Dry.
Do you want a custom themed tumbler or bottle to show off your team spirit every day of the week? Well, look no further than Game Time Sidekicks. Every design has you, the fan, in mind. Their tumblers and bottles are double-walled, vacuum-insulated stainless steel, and their quality is second to none in the market. From stainless steel sippy cups to tumblers and sports bottles, Game Time Sidekicks offers something for the fan of all ages to rep their team with. They have many different logo options, so fans will have something they are proud to carry around all the time. Use promo code SWAIN at checkout to get 20% off of your entire purchase at GameTimeSidekicks.com. They also offer $5 flat rate shipping. Be sure to check out the Game Time Workshop on the website and customize your tumbler to make it one of a kind with things like your nickname, number, or initials. Game Time Sidekicks. Show your colors and carry your team.
More than 23 million Americans have diabetes. Uncontrolled diabetes increases your chance of kidney disease, leg and foot ulcers, and even limb amputation. November is Diabetes Awareness Month, and the vascular surgeons at Premier Surgical Associates urge those with diabetes to keep it under control. Manage your blood sugar levels, exercise, don't smoke, and get regular checkups. It's also important to keep your feet and legs healthy. Diabetes makes it harder for wounds and infections to heal. Diabetes is a chronic condition, but it can be managed. Visit premiersurgical.com right now for more information. Premier Surgical Associates. Expertise you can trust.
We have all made the mistake of dropping or breaking our smartphones. See? But did you know that you can have it repaired for a fraction of the cost that it takes to replace it? Well, you can, because iDrop is the area's leading mobile repair store, home of the 1 hour or less phone repair, 1 year parts warranty, and #1 customer service. Broken screens, cracked cameras, charging ports, batteries, you break it, we'll fix it. If you didn't break your phone, protect it with one of our leading accessories such as LifeProof, OtterBox, UAG, Incipico, Caseology, and Spec. Visit our West Hills location at 7115 Kingston Pike between Office Depot and Hardee's, or call 865-888-9740 and speak with our trained technicians to see how we can get your phone working today.
Dan Mullen posing awkwardly with recruits.
For what?
Gators working out wearing costumes.
For what?
Vanderbilt making a sorority-style video.
For what?
Aaron Murray and David Pollock opening their mouths.
For what?
All right, guys, we got For What here. Gave Kelly Bryant a lot of love for going to Missouri. But, question, did Kelly Bryant do a commitment video?
He did. You're giving him a For What for that?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I think it should be banned for a grad transfer who is 22, 23 years old to do another commitment video. It's a lighthearted For What. It's lighthearted. But come on, man. Commitment video, you're a grown man now. You don't need to do a commitment video. Just pick your school, go ball out, do your thing, go make some money in the league. No reason for a commitment video, grad transfers.
It really does look like a video for a kid who's 18. It even has an edit of him in a Missouri uniform.
Yeah. No more commitment videos for grad transfers.
The only thing that's missing is no interviews, please, and a prayer hands emoji. That's, I have a For What out of Austin, Texas. And this has a video, accompanying video, so I'll put it in the show notes on the Swain Event app you can download on the App Store. Video shows Austin, Texas passerby freaking out over a fake Clark Griswold Christmas display. So if you've seen the movie...
I saw this.
If you've seen the movie National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, there is a scene where Chevy Chase is putting Christmas decorations on the roof of his house, and he slips and is hanging off the edge of his house. This person in Austin, Texas, got creative and created a full-size Chevy Chase lookalike that hangs off the side of his house. It looks awesome, and I love this. But on their doorbell camera, these people captured someone coming up and thinking that the figure hanging off of their house was a real person. I love it. The guy's so concerned. It's a great video. He comes over. There's a ladder there that's part of the display, and he moves the ladder, and he's yelling, and he's saying, come on. Like, I got you, trying to get the the inanimate object down. It's great. Like I said, it has a video. I'll post it in the show notes. You can take a look at it. I love this from all sides. But that's my For What for today.
Yeah, that's about. I have a quick For What that is going to a DJ. I don't know where he's from, to be honest with you. It's not in the United States, but
Florida.
We can just assume that it's Florida. That's fine. A soccer star who was honored as the world's best female player on Monday was asked to twerk on stage just moments later. Ada Hegerberg, who plays for the Norwegian national team and French Club Lion, was awarded the inaugural Women's Award for the world's best female. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. Essentially, the world's best female soccer player. A tremendous award. 23 years old, and she was presented the award by event co-host Martin Solveig, who asked if she would twerk, referring to the provocative dance most popularized by singer Miley Cyrus. This is not
Miley Cyrus.
Chief.
Okay.
I don't know. But come on, man, you have to have more respect for.
She's just won the
this
best female soccer player in the world.
And you're asking her to twerk on stage. Not only is that
on, man,
harassing in a way, but completely disrespectful.
And let's, I mean, we put it in full context. He's good looking. He's 23 years old. And no, don't do that.
That's when keeping it real goes wrong. Like
you're not in the club. You're not in the club.
Yeah.
Don't ask anybody to twerk.
You know the face that Jeremy Pruitt has when he's doing the Jeremy Pruitt show Sunday morning?
Yes.
This is how she looked when he asked her
I wouldn't
do
doubt
that.
it.
So that's my for today.
Let's get to the phones and
we got Nathan.
Let's get to Nathan. Nathan, good morning.
Hey, Swain, I wanted to say one other thing about Hugh Freeze. I think people are kind of overlooking is, the article that came out about when he was at Briarcrest and all that.
Yeah.
Man, if for some reason more people come out and make claims and he's hired by a university, man, your head coach is going to be just blasted for hiring him and your AD as well.
Correct.
So it is a little risky hire with Freeze. So I think some people are not looking at, they're just looking at his NCAA past and not all of his past. I mean, he's got a lot of baggage there. So that's something else to consider. But one other thing I wanted to ask, and I hadn't heard his name until the search first started, was Rush Probst. Do you think that's still a possibility?
No one loves Rush Probst or looks up to Rush Probst more than Jeremy Pruitt. To answer your question, I do not know. I do not know.
I think I heard you say that you thought he would be very qualified for it.
He's definitely qualified.
You think he would be, like, just say of the ones you've heard, would you roll the dice with him just because of the fit with Pruitt, or?
He's qualified, but he does not meet the maybe the qualification of folks who say that you want someone who has coordinated at the college level or maybe at the SEC level. He's not done that. But if there's one dude that I would trust, it would probably be Rush Probst. It'd probably be Rush Probst, to be honest, because I played against him 3 years in high school. I watched him and followed him ever since I finished up. All he's done is won. He's a winner, and the dude could do it. When you look at George Quarles, the people have said for years he can do it in college. Well, he's no different than me, and he may be a little bit better than George, to be honest. And I love me some George Quarles, and George doesn't have the baggage that Rush Probst has, because Rush Probst has baggage too. But I don't think you're going to hear anything about any students coming out and saying what they said about Hugh Freeze. Now, Hugh Freeze has denied those allegations, but Rush Probst's baggage is when he was at Hoover, I mean, he basically had a second family. And he's had some health issues, but that was like 10 years ago. That was 10 years ago.
Rush Probst's baggage is like an airplane full of baggage.
I mean, if you want to compare, actually, Hugh Freeze's baggage is more than Rush's. If you want to compare,
I'm not comparing. They both have an airplane full of baggage.
Yeah, if you want to compare there, but
Hugh's baggage would be more applicable to the current situation,
to Tennessee, yes.
Where Rush's baggage is just really applicable to his personal life and the absolute destruction that it caused. I would put it that way. Rush doesn't have any problems with the NCAA at the moment.
If Rush was hired as offense coordinator, I would not complain one bit, and I would be actually pretty happy. He is that good to me. So I know a lot of people don't know Rush, so your automatic opinion is to say no and say it ain't gonna work. I understand that. I get it. But for me, I'm not gonna let anyone influence what I feel. In my opinion, I believe Rush Probst will be really good in college. That's just me.
My only concern with Rush Probst would be that he is just being kind of thrown into the fire, and I'm not saying that he's not capable of handling it. We don't know how he would perform at this level in the SEC. So I know Charlie echoes this sentiment because we've had this conversation off air last week. Charlie and I would prefer for him to kind of come in as an assistant, maybe like a receivers coach or running backs coach, and then work his way up.
Based on what you know about him.
Correct.
Based on what I know about him,
correct,
he could come in day one and be just fine as a coordinator because he's that good. So, again, I respect everyone's opinion here, because it is shaped by what you know about him.
He would be the first high school coach that I've seen that would hop straight from high school into a coordinator
Gus Malzahn did it.
position. He went straight to a coordinator position?
Yeah.
Hugh Freeze, what was he?
No, Gus Malzahn
QB coach first, and then
Gus Malzahn went from high school to Arkansas to offensive coordinator in Arkansas. At Arkansas. No, Arkansas.
He went from Springdale High School.
He did.
Arkansas,
2005 to 2006.
Yeah,
wide receiver, offensive coordinator.
He did the Wildcat in college football and NFL football. That was Gus Malzahn.
I figured he had a step in between.
No, Gus Malzahn did it. So Rush could do it too, because Rush has been just as successful as Gus Malzahn at the high school ranks. He's done it 2 different programs in 2 different states. So, again, I understand folks don't know him like that. I happen to know him a little bit more, so I would be okay with it. I don't know if it's going to happen. Opinion of Larry Fedora, former head coach of North Carolina. I throw him in with Matt Canada. Why not have a conversation? Why not have a conversation? Obviously, he didn't do the best job as a head coach over a consistent period of time, but there was a time he had North Carolina in the ACC championship game. He offensively is a really good mind. Just because you're not a good head coach doesn't mean you can't be a good coordinator. And so why not have that conversation? If you are Jeremy Pruitt, again, you want a head coach of the offense. That's what you really want. You don't want to be looking over a dude's shoulder and having the play sheet in your hand and questioning your offensive coordinator like you did with Tyson Helton. You don't want that. You want a head coach of the offense. You want a David Cutcliffe. That would be ideal. David Cutcliffe was a head coach at Ole Miss, was working with Notre Dame a little bit, coaching their quarterbacks, and then he came here in 2006, and Coach Foreman didn't have to worry about David Cutcliffe. He had a head coach of the offense. He had a head coach of the defense. Coach Foreman was in paradise. That's what I think Jeremy Pruitt needs. He needs a head coach of the offense. So why not have that conversation with Larry Fedora? Why not?
I say why not because I don't think he fits schematically. Larry Fedora likes that wide open, spread you out.
Spread guy.
Hey, well, you talked to Hugh Freeze?
I don't think he's as wide out, spread, air raid. We're going to throw it a billion times a game as Hugh Freeze is.
Larry Fedora, another guy who came through the high school ranks.
Dude.
Was a wide receivers coach before becoming an OC, but
Hugh Freeze's offense didn't match what Pruitt wants to. I think it's worth a conversation.
Just say it did.
Yeah, just have a conversation. Just have a conversation. That's all. I ain't saying hire him, but how do you know what he would do if you don't even talk to him? We talked to Hugh Freeze.
And we can address this one real quick. Brandon Carroll on Facebook asks, why haven't we heard about Bobby Petrino?
Boy, stop.
Because Bobby Petrino is the scum of the earth. And
pretty much.
A terrible person.
That's
go check his entire background, and you don't want him anywhere near your football program. He is a great offensive mind. You don't want him on your staff.
No, sir. No to Bobby Petrino. No. No, sir. That would be a hard pill to swallow right there. 865-255-03, B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline. Be right back.
If you love the Swain Event and you want more of the show every day, you can now get it with Swain Event Plus. Swain Event Plus features exclusive, in-depth interviews with former Vols.
She saved my life. I probably would have never made the comments, man.
I looked at him and said, Coach, no disrespect. I'm going to Tennessee. I'm going to play in the SEC.
With Swain Event Plus, you can also get access to the exclusive podcast Reel on the Hill with Tennessee media legend John Bryce.
What is going on there with that battle?
I had lunch with some folks over the course of this past week who indicated some inside the program believe that Jarrett Garantano is really ready to take that next step.
So go to SwainEventPlus.com right now to sign up and check out all of the amazing extras that you can get. That's SwainEventPlus.com. Get more.
You're driving home, flashing blue lights in your rearview mirror. You pull over, step out of your car, and the next thing you know, you're being arrested for driving under the influence. Now what do? We all should be responsible. But remember, just because you're arrested doesn't mean you're guilty. Call criminal defense and DUI attorney Marcos Garza at 865-540-8300. The investigative teams at the Garza Law Firm know the justice system inside and out. They utilize cutting-edge technologies and investigative methods to prepare your specific case. Before you plead guilty to any criminal charges, call criminal defense and DUI attorney Marcos Garza. Put his number in your phone right now, 865-540-8300, because you never know when you or a friend will need it. Don't say guilty. Say Garza. 865-540-8300. 865-540-8300 and GarzaLaw.com.
We have all made the mistake of dropping or breaking our smartphones. See? But did you know that you can have it repaired for a fraction of the cost that it takes to replace it? Well, you can, because iDrop is the area's leading mobile repair store, home of the 1 hour or less phone repair, 1 year parts warranty, and #1 customer service. Broken screens, cracked cameras, charging ports, batteries, you break it, we'll fix it. If you didn't break your phone, protect it with one of our leading accessories such as LifeProof, OtterBox, UAG, Incipico, Caseology, and Spec. Visit our West Hills location at 7115 Kingston Pike between Office Depot and Hardee's, or call 865-888-9740 and speak with our trained technicians to see how we can get your phone working today.
Goes your car insurance. Nobody likes surprises, so switch to Erie Rate Lock. Get a great rate that stays that way even after an accident, ticket, or inflation. In fact, it's locked until you change a car, driver, or your address.
Your Erie agent in Knoxville is InsureFit RM. Get a quote at 865-684-4900. That's 865-684-4900.
Erie Rate Lock does not guarantee continued insurance coverage and is not available in all states.
At work? Can't call in? Don't feel bad. You can talk to the guys on the text box. It's part of the free Swain Event app.
I got an email from Chris who says, one thing you guys need to talk about Canada is his bald head. It matches Jeremy Pruitt.
Excellent.
This is a fact.
Yep.
This is a fact.
I think that should be taken deeply into consideration. The power of the hairless head.
I mean, look at this Tennessee staff. You got Will Friend, he's bald headed. Pruitt's bald headed. You look at Chris Rump, he's bald headed. David Johnson's bald headed. Charles Kelly's bald headed. What about Chris Winkie? He close.
Chris Winkie's bald.
Chris Winkie bald?
Yeah.
Doesn't he have the horseshoe?
Is he still holding on like LeBron?
I don't think he was ever holding on.
I only see those dudes. I only see those dudes in hats, so it's hard to say. Let's see. Yeah, hat. Here's one picture. Chris Winkie has the horseshoe.
Oh yeah, I see that.
He's holding on like LeBron.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He bald, man.
He's bald.
He bald.
Oh, yeah.
He got the Stan Van Gundy.
What is the Stan Van Gundy?
The horseshoe.
Yeah.
I thought you said he's bald.
You got the horseshoe, you bald, man.
Bald enough.
You just holding on.
I think he's bald. It doesn't look like he has any hair under the hat.
His Tennessee picture, he got the horseshoe.
Oh.
He's bald. His Tennessee picture that's on UT Sports, he bald. All this right here, forehead and back, about the middle of his head, it's clean, man. It's clean as a whistle. He bald. So Matt Canada would fit. He would fit the look. He would fit the look of the staff. I don't know how T. Fair still got hair, man.
I tell you
I'm
what,
jealous.
Larry Fedora would not fit in that department.
No, his hair's beautiful.
He's got some good hair.
He got some good hair. He would take over the good hair label in the SEC East. Derek Dooley, you would have some competition, my friend.
I still think Dooley wins that department, but it comes close.
I don't know, man. Larry Fedora stuff, it has to be shining like he used Soul Glow or something.
And I tell you what.
Juices and berries.
You know, another department that Larry Fedora would help in, the strength and conditioning. He'd be in there working out with the guys.
Now, Larry would be the buffest coach in the SEC, that's for sure.
He would.
He would be the buffest, no doubt about that. Got a message here on the text box. I'm not sure if Pruitt has talking to T, but do you think he got scapegoated at USC? Oh, absolutely.
That whole staff did.
Yeah, that's Helton's offense. And
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, he just got caught in the middle of it.
I would love for T to have a conversation with Pruitt. That would be great. CMB Ting says Matt Canada. What? Matt Canada? No way. I'd rather bring T Martin home. I mean, technically, guys, Matt Canada has more of a resume than T Martin. And I love me some T Martin. But if you lined up both of their resumes as far as play calling, Matt Canada has been more successful than T Martin over a longer period of time. Just saying.
Now, T Martin would be better hire in terms of recruiting.
Yeah, but I mean, coordinators really don't recruit.
Exactly.
Yeah, they don't really recruit like that. They're not on the road like that. They may do some home visits, but you recruit players by how you play, the style of offense you call, the style of defense that you run, and I don't remember a coordinator being that much of a big deal on the recruiting trail, other than just how they call. Now, Kevin Shera is in the position to maybe flip a Georgia recruit, Tasman Marshall, but I love me some T Martin. Y'all know this, but I gotta call a spade a spade. Matt Canada has a better resume. Why not have a conversation with T Martin if you're Jeremy Pruitt? Why not? Why not? Kendall Browse, I'm just not really comfortable with because of what happened at Baylor. I know that some other bigger schools have kind of squashed him coming in. He has not been hired at a big school. Now, he went to FAU. He's now at Houston. I'm not really comfortable with Kendall Browse. A lot of digging, finding out what happened would be required, but I don't see how Kendall Browse is any different than Graciano.
Or Hugh Freeze.
That one would be hard to justify for me. Just that baggage is heavy.
Now, Kendall Browse is different from Hugh Freeze and me because, you know, Hugh Freeze, that was he called up a grown up. A grown up calling up another grown up. Yes, he was married, but that's different than what Kendall Browse and that Baylor staff was accused of, and that's you know, covering up rape and things that happened at Baylor. That's totally different from, you know, my opinion, Hugh Freeze. Hugh Freeze was accused of something, but it never was proven, really, and he denied it. Whereas Kendall Browse, there's some things that was proven that was going on at Baylor, and how would that be different than Graciano? These things were proven at Penn State, but how was Graciano involved? How was Kendall Browse involved? That would line up kind of more for me. It would make me uncomfortable at first, for sure. I would need to know a whole lot of the information behind the scenes to feel comfortable about it.
You look up Kendall Browse Houston, and some of the first articles that come up include beauties like this. The Baylor scandal hasn't kept Kendall Browse from the recruiting trail. Major Applewhite makes shameful decision to hire ex-Baylor staffer Kendall Browse. You'd be asking for a PR problem.
That would be a problem. Vol in Birmingham says, I need to know why we even interviewed Freeze and got talking heads to put it out that he was Pruitt's first choice if we're not going in that direction. Why? Well, that's the legitimate criticism. Excuse me.
That's a good point.
That's what we said, excuse me, before we had Chris Lowe on. That's what even Chris said during the interview, and that is the one thing that we should have done better. You have a first-time head coach. You have a first-time AD. You should have probably vetted him probably a little bit better and not allow for this interview to get out and make it seem like this is the direction that we're going if you were going to pump the brakes this hard. That's fair. But, again, you're dealing with a first-time head coach and first-time AD.
But also an AD who has hired OCs in the past.
I say we
at the same time.
Can we just let Phil Fulmer be the OC? He can be the OC and the AD. Why?
He would do it probably.
No.
Hold on. Here.
No.
It's not going to happen. But do you think Phil Fulmer would be a good fit?
No.
But what would
schematically for Jeremy Pruitt?
But here's what would happen.
No.
Is that the first time a Tennessee drive goes thusly?
Oh.
Run, pass, punt. People will go, oh,
here we
classic Fulmer. Yep, here. This is it. This is what we got ourselves into.
Or the moment, the first game that the defense is bad and the offense is good. Fire Pruitt. Let's get Coach Fulmer back
needs to
in
be
there.
the head coach.
Let's have Fulmer back as head coach.
DR Vol says, was Darnell Wright's tweet, RTR, which means roll tide roll, a smokescreen?
I hope not. I'm starting to get a little worried.
I believe it was.
I'm starting to get a little worried.
I'm not worried about that one. I'm not worried about Darnell Wright.
Worry is slowly starting to creep near me.
I'm not worried. 865-200-5503. Take our last break of the day. Stay with us.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Today will be sunny with a high of 50 and a low of 33. Tomorrow, give thanks with more sunshine, a high near 53 and a low around 34. Friday, even more sun with a high in the low 50s. Weather on the Swain Event is brought to you by B-Dry. If your basement is wet or cracked, B-Dry can help. BDry.com.
Do you have cracks in your foundation? A wet basement or a nasty, leaky crawl space? Our listeners have heard about them on the Swain Event for over a year, and now it's time to make the call. Give B-Dry Waterproofing and Foundation Repair the opportunity to fix your home's problem. Since 1958, that's right, nearly 60 years, B-Dry has been solving basement, crawl space, and foundation problems throughout the country. B-Dry only uses high-quality materials from reputable manufacturers. They back their installations with some of the best warranties in the industry to provide homeowners with added peace of mind. They are truly an A-plus company. Whenever you start experiencing a wet basement, leaky crawl space, or a cracked foundation, remember these 3 words. Better call B-Dry. Reach out to B-Dry today at 865-662-5238 to schedule your free appointment. That's 865-662-5238. Remember, better call B-Dry.
It's almost football time in Tennessee, which means it's time to get geared up at Alumni Hall. Find the best selection of Nike, Nike Golf, Tommy Bahama, and all those retro logos you love. Don't forget about your game day crew. Plenty of selection for the ladies, the little balls, and to upgrade their tailgate. Shop now at one of their 6 convenient locations in Tennessee or 24/7 at alumnihall.com. We're here with Dr. Mike Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, or instability, Achilles tendonitis, golfers, or tennis elbow, do what I did and give them a call.
Yeah, Jason, we specialize in regenerative non-surgical orthopedics. So we treat damaged ligaments, tendons, and joints, including things like rotator cuff injuries, knee instability, elbow problems, as well as foot problems like plantar fasciitis, Achilles, things of that nature, by injecting with stem cells and what's called PRP, or platelet-rich plasma. And this form of treatment we do under ultrasound, so we know we have our target. And it also stimulates the body's own reparative process, and this allows for the healing of damaged tissue. And as you well know, numerous professional and collegiate athletes, guys like Steph Curry, Tiger Woods, and even yourself with your ankle injury, have been using this form of treatment for years. And so we offer that same type of treatment here in East Tennessee.
Visit them on the web at trsportsmedicine.com. Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine. East Tennessee's leader in regenerative therapy. VFL's Jason Swain and Todd Kelly here with our Men on Football and Smoothie segment. Let's discuss some of our favorite smoothies and how they impact our lives. TK, man, tell me which smoothie comes to mind when you think about playing defense?
Swain-O, the Peanut Butter Power Plus and the Power Punch Plus provide the energy needed to make plays every time they take the field. Then you have the Gladiator and the Hawk, nutrition every dominant player has to have. Bottom line, everyone wants to be a dominant player. Now, Swain, you tell me about the offensive side of the ball.
TK, it's simple. You always score with Smoothie King. The shredder personifies what we are going to do to opposing defenses. The Berry Punch and Activator will light up the scoreboard. And in case we need to go into overtime, the Pure Recharge will put us over the top for the win.
Swain-O, you know I love football and Smoothie King. I'm a VFL, a Smoothie King for life. The Chocolate Gladiator and the Chocolate Shredder with the scoop of peanut butter, oh, that's my go-to smoothie. They get a chest bump all day.
Yes, sir. This concludes our Men on Football and Smoothie King segment for today. Don't forget the Sip by Sip program. Use Smoothie King as a meal replacement 5 or more times a week, and you'll feel and see the difference. Smoothie King, the healthy alternative to fast food. Delicious and nutritious. TK.
Don't forget the peanut butter. Yeah, boy.
If you aren't following the Swain Event on Twitter, then are you even on Twitter? Hit that follow button. It's the right thing to do.
Take a look at this text box and Facebook Live. So, guys, let's get Facebook Live comments up and let's show our folks some love. South Kakalaki Vol says Furman's offense is at the bottom of their conference, though. So who knows about GQ?
Yeah, decent point.
Fair point.
Yeah. I guess you don't know and I don't. I'm not gonna purport like I do know, but the entire like player situation in Furman, that could be a factor, and there's a lot that goes into it.
Charlie, why are you not up to date on the Furman roster?
My apologies. I'll get right on that. Eric Yop says bald is beautiful. Spoken like a man who is most likely bald. Let's see. Yes, he is. I agree. Bald is definitely beautiful. And then we had a hot take on that note on the text box. Chris said, when was the last time a bald coach won a national championship? It's not like dreads. Dreads equal a proven baller. Bald equals lousy, pathetic coach. What?
When was the...
It's only 4 active coaches who've won championship. Yeah. It's only 4. Dabo, Earp, 3. Dabo, 4 because it's not done yet, but 4.
Yeah,
and they all have hair. Dabo, Saban, Urban, and Jimbo Fisher.
Les Miles too. Now that he's back.
Oh yeah, he's back. So 5.
Yeah.
Well, about to be 4 once Urban.
Yeah, so 5. 5 for now.
When has
Miles got that hair too?
Have I ever seen a coach that has dreads, yet alone won a championship in any sport?
I have not seen a coach with dreads. Period. But whatever.
That'd be interesting.
It is a good point, though.
Ken says, Charlie is right, Swain. You want to hire the right guy, but if you don't hurry up, somebody else is going to hire your right guy, and the right guy won't be available.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to have a sense of urgency, but you don't want to rush to make a decision and to be the wrong decision. So if you have identified your guy, then you go get him. If there's no baggage, there's no problems, whatever, go get him.
I just got some good news that pertains to the show, but it'll have to wait. It's a surprise.
Patrick says the Tennessee PR machine is geared up and is in spin mode, dispensing news that a freeze hires and dead, but rather dormant. Truth is, UT Brass is waiting till some other school hires him. Then the UT spin machine will say that Freeze was offered the job but rejected it, or that he wasn't the top choice. Well, when we get there, we'll sort it out and figure it out and come here and try to get you the truth. That's what we'll do. Chris says Canada interviewed for the OC job at Tennessee a few years ago. I just read that. Didn't know that. DR Fall says he's all in for Canada.
I think he interviewed when Mike DeBoard. I think that's when
Possible.
He interviewed.
Ken says Peterman wasn't a high draft pick, 5th round, of course. The fact that he got drafted at all was a credible job for Canada, no doubt. Angela says, good morning, guys. Could Rush Probst really come in from high school level and be the OC? I think he can do it, personally. I would understand folks who would say that they wouldn't be sold initially. I'm telling you right now, I witnessed it. The dude is the real deal. Oh, and Mac Brown. Mac Brown's back, guys. So it is 6 coaches. And Mac Brown does have hair.
So all we have to do is get Philip Fulmer back, and we'll have 7.
Coach Fulmer's ball, though.
Who was
I'm talking about national champions back in play. Former coach.
Yeah.
I got your answer.
But we were talking about ball coaches. If you're ball, you can't win championship. Matt Brown still has his hair, and Coach Fulmer has a cul-de-sac. He does.
Your answer right here, the last ball coach.
That's right.
To win a natty, Larry Coker of Miami. And boy, that team was good.
Yep, Larry Coker.
Yep. And then I guess you go back from there and it would be Philip Fulmer.
Yeah, and Larry Coker had like the little scragglies at the top when he's ball, kind of like Homer Simpson. Like the 2 little hairs up top.
That were the Dana Holgerson.
I mean, not even that.
Just hanging on for dear life.
Yeah. Like Homer has like 1 or 2 hairs at the top. That's what Larry Coker has, like 1 or 2. Dana has like the comb over kind of.
Well, what's funny is he tries to comb it over, but he doesn't have enough hair to comb it over.
Well, that's because the wind is so crazy in West Virginia and it just blows it to the other side. Let's see here. Going to the text box. All right, what's on Facebook Live? Y'all got some good stuff there?
Yes. I believe it was Henry Riddle would like to know who is our biggest target so far this recruiting class.
The biggest target?
Probably Wanye Morris. That's already committed.
I mean, the biggest target. I mean, he's already committed, and he's going to sign. I wouldn't even consider him a target because that's done. I guess the guy who's not committed would be the biggest would be Darnell Wright. I think you can look at him because he is a second-rated offensive tackle in the country. But Tennessee is in a really good spot for him.
What about defensively?
Man, you look at the linebacker position. They need help. So on Pat Poe and you get you a pass rusher like Tasman, Marshall, who's committed to Georgia, and Kevin Sherrill's all over him right now. And he is really, really thinking hard about if he's going to make that flip or not to Tennessee from Georgia. He likes Kevin Sherrill a lot. So I think Tennessee needs a pass rusher. They need everything, but they need a pass rusher. They need linebacker play. The linebackers are too slow. Got to improve there. So
I'll tell you one thing Tennessee does not need. A punter. And you know why? Because Tennessee is PU. Punter U, baby. 6 punters in the NFL. No other team comes close.
Oh, wow. That was terrible.
No punter U talk. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. But on a serious note, our thoughts to Derek Barnett and his family.
Yes.
Chris Lowe said it earlier. Losing your brother like that, it rocks you. It rocks you to your core. And so Derek Barnett has done everything right here at Tennessee. He plays the football the right way, carries himself the right way. Sometimes bad things happen to good people. And we just want to send our love, our best thoughts, our prayers to the Barnett family. 33 is way too young. Call Uber, please. Call Lyft. Call taxi. Just don't drink and drive, please, please, please. Just ruining lives out here every single day. For Ben McKee, Charlie Burris, from Jason Swain, hope you have a great Wednesday. Peace and love.
Hour 3 of the Swain event is brought to you by the Low T Center and LowTCenter.com.